Nickrpgreen, and I am going to be speedrunning for you the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection trilogy. So that is Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 back to back. That is not all of the games in the Master Collection, but is the main 3 games in the Master Collection. I'm not alone. I've brought along with me Blues for the Red Sun. Say hello.
Hi guys.
And in a short while, we'll also be joined by Metal Glenn Solid, who is just running a little late due to some things that came up for him. So we'll look forward to Glenn joining us here. I'm on the option screen at the moment because it's the one screen on the main menu that doesn't have any sound. Because I've all 3 games are already up and ready to go, so that we can have a nice quick transition between them all. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. We're going to be playing on the very easy difficulty for all 3 because those are the fastest versions of the game, so it makes sense to play that difficulty. And we are going to get started. Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good luck.
3 hours of Metal Gear Solid. What could be better? There we go.
So, Nick, can you explain us why you are running on very easy? What's the difference between easy and very easy, for example?
Well, very easy for a start. You may already see that I've got a special gun. This is the... Just gonna... Oh, took some damage there. That's okay. This is the MP5. Very easy. Was originally exclusive to the Japanese version of the game. The Japanese version got a re-release, a director's cut, if you like, called Metal Gear Solid Integral. And Very Easy was exclusive to that release originally. Very Easy plays exactly the same as Easy. The guards do the same amount of damage. Snake takes the same amount of damage. They see the same distance, and everything about it is the same as Easy. The only difference being that we start with this MP5 from the very start of the run, and there is no rank screen at the end of the game. So for a speedrun, we actually time this differently to the rest of the difficulties in the series. What I'm doing right now is a technique called alert farming. We're down here in the docks, and we've got nothing to do while we're down in the docks. We've got to wait for the elevator at the top of the screen. So I am constantly giving this guard the runaround by triggering a new alert every time my previous alert wears off. I should have enough alerts now. Oh, I'm hoping he doesn't turn and look at me. Hang on, I can afford one more. That'll do. So that's one more. The reason for this, later on in the game, there is going to be an RNG moment which does get affected by the number of alerts that we have. If I have at least 11 alerts, we get 1 interaction. If I have less than 11 alerts, we have another interaction, and it's better to have more alerts. So that's why we do that. We're going to get past this guard here by knocking until he can hear. And run straight in front of him. Guards can't look down. And we head up into Shadow Moses Island.
One thing we should mention is the Master Collection do have kind of crappy loads. So yeah, that's one other difference there is compared to the console version.
So you may notice that I am skipping through codec calls very, very quickly. In Metal Gear speedrunning, for a lot of the games, we are allowed to use turbo, mostly for skipping through codecs and cutscenes. Metal Gear Solid 2's kind of the exception where you're allowed to use it in-game as well, because it does actually really help, and you'll see that a little bit later when we get on to Metal Gear Solid 2. But right now, I'm going to run over here. I'm going to grab these chaff grenades. I'm going to kill that guard before he kills me. I'm just gonna play this safe and just use my rations there, just to be on the safe side. As we head into the vent.
And we remind chat that he's wrong to smoke. By the way.
Yes, me getting the cigarettes out there was not intended. We meet up with Master Miller. Master Miller, definitely Master Miller. We're gonna follow the mice. These are Alaskan field mice. Don't worry, they won't harm us.
And they eat keys. That's one of their traits.
So we're just gonna make our way through this vent over towards the tank hangar, and then we are gonna come across the first major skip of the game. Of the 3 games that we're playing, Metal Gear Solid 1 is the most glitch heavy. Metal Gear Solid 2 has a couple of minor glitches. Metal Gear Solid 3 doesn't really have any glitches.
It's Ab 1.
Yeah.
The box glide. We'll see that later.
So we're going to run over to the elevator. I'm going to just kill that guard before he can spot me. Push the elevator button twice. That automatically causes it to come up. And head down to B1, the cells. And this is where the first big glitch comes in. This is called the vent glitch. It was discovered quite early on in Metal Gear Solid's speedrunning history. And what we do is, rather than go up the ladder there, we're going to go down on the floor, look up, and go out of bounds. We can use the radar to look at where we're going, run all the way around the outside to the door into the torture room, and hit the trigger on the other side. And just like that, we are now in prison. There we are. If it weren't for the Master Collection's load times. We are now in prison, and we have skipped about half of the game, maybe a little under half.
A third of the game, yeah. About 6 bosses, I believe.
We have skipped the guard fight, Ocelot, the tank, the ninja, Psycho Mantis, and Sniper Wolf 1. Luckily, this trick works really, really well in this game. We don't have any items. We've not collected any weapons or anything else yet. The game doesn't give you items and things that you haven't collected. It doesn't work in that way. Luckily, the very next thing that's going to happen is Otocon's going to turn up, and he's going to give us the level 6 key card, which is the one thing we need to progress. If that didn't happen, this trick would softlock the game. So it was kind of like the perfect storm when this got discovered. I really wish I'd been around on the speedrunning scene, because it must have been quite an amazing experience.
One thing you should mention too is the vent glitch was found early. The thing that is it was found really early, but it basically soft lock you out of finishing the game if you don't have the other glitch we're going into a bit later into the run.
Just waiting for Johnny to come back. Start crawling out now. That wasn't just a troll. That was a deliberate piece of tech. When Johnny comes back from the toilet, he's going to start sneezing. He does a patrol. If you just leave him and let him do his patrol as normal, then he does about 2 or 3 walk up and downs. He actually stops and falls asleep on the spot. He's that tired. Amazing that you can fall asleep standing up, but Johnny can do it. So what we do instead to interrupt that interaction is hide under the bed. As Johnny gets back into the room, he thinks that Snake has escaped, so he sort of goes, oh, what's that? And then we leave the bed to trigger Johnny going back into his normal patrol and into the torture section. Now we are going to be skipping the torture section. It is the fastest way of doing it. We don't want to have to survive several rounds of torture, which does mean Meryl will be dying, and we will be leaving the game with Otacon.
You win.
Shut up in there, Nick.
There is only one... unless you're specifically doing a Meryl run, which isn't a real speed run, but you can do them for fun. There's actually only one category in the entire history of Metal Gear Solid 1 where you do leave with Meryl, and it is very easy on the original PC port, because that PC port is very whack.
There is another category where you save mirror. It's called Joseph Joestar.
Yes, we have a speedrunner in Metal Gear Speedrun. It's called Joseph Joestar, who very often does Meryl runs. So sorry, Joe, we killed Meryl again. All right, we are back in the cell. Just gonna wait for Johnny to do his next patrol. So the Master, let's talk about the Master Collection. I've just mentioned the original PC port. This is the Master Collection being played on PC. The Master Collection does mark the first time the original PlayStation versions of the game have been natively available on PC. The original PC port, which was released in 2000, 2 years after the original PlayStation version, was a very rushed port. It's very messy. It has its own game-breaking bugs that we absolutely abuse in speedrunning. So it is very nice to finally have the original PlayStation version available on PC.
Sorry, Nick, but it seems like we can hear us.
You can't hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us. Only you.
Hey, I'm here. Where?
My disc...
It's me.
Do you want to keep talking?
Never mind.
He's coming.
Okay.
See you later. Wait.
I'm just reading chat, by the way.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, I did see your audio bobbing up and down on OBS. So we are now escaping from prison. We used the ketchup that Otacon gave us to trick Johnny into thinking that we've had a terrible accident. He's going to come and unlock the door. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to let him get me one more alert, just to be on the safe side. And unfortunately, we're also going to kill Johnny. This is a very non-canon run of Metal Gear Solid 1. Any Metal Gear fans out there will know that Johnny does make a reappearance in Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 4. He becomes actually gets main character status in Metal Gear Solid 4. So he's dead and Meryl's dead. Very, very non-canon run here.
How could you ruin the story, Nick?
Hey, Glenn's here. Welcome,
Glenn.
buddy. Everyone, please welcome Metal Glenn Solid to the commentary couch.
If I were to make yeah, sure.
So we are grabbing the PSG-1. This is the only bit of backtracking we need to do to deal with the fact that we did the vent glitch.
One thing to mention is you probably noticed when Nick picked the PSG-1, it was labeled red. What it means is there is a rank up system in the game, and Nick basically is under level, so he's not able to carry any PSG-1 ammo for the moment.
So now we're going to make our way back to where we kind of should be in the game, because we still don't have like all of our equipment that we normally have at this point, but it's fine. We can deal with that. We're going to run past this tank, this destroyed broker. You remember the fight with the tank that we had, where Destroyer expertly threw some grenades in there? It's such a good fight.
I thought we were just letting the tank take its sweet nap.
Or maybe it's that. That could be it as well. However, we are rewarded for the tank taking a nap. Snake now ranks up as we come in here, because this is the first time Snake has entered this room after the tank has been destroyed. So the game now is starting to try and catch up with the shenanigans of the vent glitch.
I wish we could see if Raven flex. So I love that animation.
So now we're going to run around here, grab some more chaff grenades. Chaff grenades here. We'll run down into this corner and grab these grenades as well. And hop up here through this garden. Might have to Make sure I throw him over. There we go. That's good. That's nice. And hop down to B1.
There's a fun old joke that we like to make in these games. I didn't kill him, gravity did. Unfortunately, that logic does not apply in MGS 1. Believe it or not.
Grab these stun grenades. We are deliberately avoiding the Nikita. You may have noticed I started heading towards the Nikita and then ran it back. On I think every difficulty on the console run, you don't grab the Nikita except for extreme, and I've been doing nothing but extreme runs lately. So muscle.
Actually, you do still pick up.
Is it
the
hard?
Nikita because
Is it hard?
because it is faster for Raven, basically.
Ah.
But yeah, you skip the Nikita for the first time, but you go back to pick it up, basically.
Scarf.
Yep, equip the scarf. The scarf makes the scarf smells like sniper wolf, so it stops the wolves attacking you. If you're a good runner at this game, then you wouldn't need to equip the scarf. You'd be able to just take out the wolves or avoid them. But I'm really bad at avoiding the wolves, so I just use the scarf.
And I'm sorry in advance, Nick, but we are coming to the Boba Skip, which is pretty well known for most of you, I believe. But I must make the joke because there is a thing Nick really likes to do when he gets Boba first try, and you might hear him sing. I'm not sure, but you might hear him sing.
For anyone who doesn't know, 2 years ago, a member of Yogg's cast called Boba was playing Metal Gear Solid 1 casually for the first time and discovered the skip that you're about to see. It was absolutely huge. Kojima knows about it because...
Can confirm.
Because like it got onto major game news website. IGN talked about it, Kotaku talked about it. It was huge at the time.
Specifically, IGN's tweet about their article,
Yeah.
Kojima liked on both of his accounts.
Yeah.
The English and his Japanese one.
I'd like to take one more second to say that Nick has a great video about it, and if you want to know about the history of the Boba Skip, you better go watch his video.
So what we do is we line up against the door, and we're taking damage deliberately. First try! Oh! I am living the best life ever because I beat the video game. I am living the best life ever because I am out of the stairwell of shame. I am the best at video games. That is the song that Boba sang when they first got through the door and discovered it was a glitch. And I sing it every time, but the sort of depth and brevity and joyfulness of it does change depending on how many attempts it took. So what I did is I took damage, and that causes Snake to play one of two animations, which extends his hitbox to trigger the loading screen on the other side of the door. But there's a 50% chance of which animation will be played. One of them works and one of them doesn't. So whenever you do the Boba Skip, it's a 50-50 chance whether you get it right or not.
And here is another trick you might want to explain.
Oh, nice. First try as well. So this is the weapon glitch. She may notice that I've got the Stinger out. It's got 0 ammo. Again, this is similar to the PSG-1 earlier. The game doesn't let us carry any ammo yet. But by using a trick there, where I...
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I walked too far forwards.
Oh.
We shouldn't have seen that cutscene because the fact that Nick doesn't have the Stinger is in inventory make it so
The game's soft.
doesn't play.
Yeah, it's soft lock.
The game's soft lock. I'm gonna have to load a save. Whoops.
It's
backup
better
files.
to miss that than to miss the weapon glitch itself. so
Yeah.
that's fine. And it's probably my bad too, because I
Okay,
kind
easy.
of
Looks like we might be changing difficulty to easy because doesn't look like I actually have very easy.
oh,
Yeah, we've had to swap
It's easy.
we've had to swap to easy, but that's fine. It's not that it's not that much different.
Well, the biggest
Yeah.
difference is we're not going to have the MP5 anymore.
Yep. So we'll quickly run this back. So the way the weapon glitch works, as I say, we trick the game into thinking that we've got the stinger equipped as a grenade. We lose the stinger from our inventory, and that kind of messes up the order of what goes on in this room. And we skip the cutscene that started to play, and we don't softlock the game. So to do this, I equip the chaff, unequip my cards, and then equip the stinger. There we go. First try again. That's really nice.
two first try. It's really
First.
impressive because the weapon glitch itself is pretty hard to do. It's a frame perfect trick, and it requires you to make an input at a specific frame, and it's really not that easy to pull off. So yeah, two first try is really good.
There we go.
Let's use a ration now. Oh, there we go. So you may have noticed I just accidentally walked up against a box there. I'm just going to wait for this second chaff grenade to go off. There we go. What's happened is the game hasn't played the cutscene that started to play earlier because the game recognizes that I don't have the stinger in my inventory. So it's gone, oh, you haven't got the stinger, we shouldn't play this cutscene, you need to go back outside. However, because other things have already happened, I am not doing very well with these chaff grenades. Because other things have already happened, it's already removed the boxes that sit there to stop us from coming up the stairs here. What we're doing now is running all the way to the top of the tower just to reset the room. So as I say, the room's in this really weird state where one of the boxes is there, but it's invisible. The cutscene hasn't played, and we shouldn't be here without the stinger. We're going to reset the room because it's balked. But when we come back into the room, it's gonna recognize that we still don't have the stinger. The stinger's gone from our inventory, so it's going to put the room back into its original state without the stinger. But when you enter this room without the stinger in its original state, you shouldn't be on this side of the boxes. You should be back in the first door coming off the walkway. And that allows us...
I think the only thing the game knows about this room is that you've played the little cutscene where Snake realizes that stairs are broken.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing it remembers.
So as we go back down, it's much easier to throw grenades. Well, we don't have enough chaff grenades to keep throwing more chaff grenades. We're going to throw these grenades at the cameras instead, just by timing the cook and the throw. We can take them all out on the way down, which is really nice.
Yeah. Nick didn't mention it, but the weapon glitch we just did allowed us to skip another boss, which was D&D, which we couldn't defeat, by the way, because we don't have stingers.
It's fine.
So that's all of them, and now you see that the boxes are back. But because we're on the wrong side of the boxes, it usually takes me a couple of attempts. We can kind of play with perspective a little bit here, and get Snake to stand on top of the boxes. There we go.
There it goes.
GG.
Nice.
Easy. No fall damage in this game, by the way.
Yep, the game doesn't recognize elevation. You shouldn't be able to go up and down. There's only a couple of places in the game where you can sort of go up and down a little bit like that. So as a result, we don't take any damage, and we've now skipped the elevator fight as well.
Should mention as well that the game tends to crash when you fall off.
Only if you try to go into a crawling state and move at the same time while you're in the air. The game doesn't know what to do, it will crash. It doesn't know how to handle that set of scenarios. So like, you could totally go prone and just fall.
So now Wolf. And the problem we've got with Wolf here is we didn't pick up the Nikita, and we have no PSG-1 ammo. No problem. We can use the PSG. We can use the weapon glitch again, as I just did. Let's say that's weapon glitch first time every time. That does not happen for me usually. I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah,
We
that's a
take
good
those.
run. I'm definitely like impressed by that because 2 weapon glitch first try, 3 weapon glitch first try. So
Not that I should have needed 3. So instead of deleting the PSG-1 from the inventory, this time what we did is we tricked the game into thinking we had the PSG-1 equipped whilst we were running around. What that means is, for some reason, with the PSG-1 equipped, the invisible barrier that separates Snake and Wolf in the fight gets removed. And as a result, we can walk straight through and the fight ends. We do have one final bit of backtracking to do, though. We've talked about the stinger a lot throughout these tricks. We still don't actually have it, and we do need it in order to beat Metal Gear later. So all we do is quickly run back up. I'm going to grab some extra grenades there, because we are going to need those for the Raven fight. We are actually going to fight a boss in about 5 minutes.
technically, we don't really need the stinger since we can deal damage to Rex with the PSG-1. The thing is, it's slow, so may as well get it.
Now we head back down. There's no elevator fight. You may, again, fans of Metal Gear Solid may know that there's usually an elevator fight in here with 4 invisible guards. The way that the game's story flags work is that if any story flag is skipped, everything is skipped. There's no going back and redoing things. It's a very, very strict linear process.
I wouldn't say the game is broken, but the routing is really impressive. Like I mentioned, all of that wouldn't be possible without the weapon glitch. So yeah, that's really impressive.
Throw one more chaff grenade there. Take out these cameras. I'm just going to swap to the stun grenades now. And we move on to disc 2. So you can tell this is the Master Collection because we get this nice little fancy disc swap animation.
And long ass loading time as well.
Yeah, that's true. Because this is the same version as the original PlayStation version, it all comes under the same category on speedrun.com. So if you're playing the original version on the PS1, this would be the same category. We're going to do a quick glitch here where by using that stun grenade outside, it doesn't get me an alert, and I can now throw a grenade at the crane there, knock it out, and we can run across.
Good throw.
Because of things like that little animation of the disc change, as Blues mentioned, the loading times in this version are not great. This isn't particularly the fastest. It's certainly not the fastest way. Just gonna take this guard out and I hope I get a. I've got 3 rations. This is I've been so used to playing extreme and trying to get a spare ration from that guard.
One thing we should mention as well is if you are to run that game, the RTA is what matter. Setup time and loading time, all that, at least for some game, 3 especially, do not count in in your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of hoped when the Master Collection was announced that it might finally give us a nice, really easy... Oh, my angle was off there. We'll just check that guard out just to complete that fight. There we go.
Basically, the hope was that the PSTV version was no longer going to be the only way to be competitive in this game, but unfortunately, these are the loads we got.
Yeah, so because of the loading times, I mean, this game is available on so many different platforms. You can play it on PS3 because of the digital version available for that. Mm-hmm. But apparently the loading times on that version is really bad as well. The fastest version is either on a PS Vita or the more common use is the PS TV, which is just a console version of
a PSP in a plastic shell.
It's a PS Vita in a
plastic shell. It's what it is.
PS5 have decent load, but still this is DMC, so no codec skip, and we still have to mash through the codecs and stuff. So
there you go. That's the PSTV. Little. So yeah, and I bought this just to run Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done that.
Not to mention the
yeah.
price, which is insane. This thing is insanely costly.
Some places, yeah. I've seen it as low as $50, and that was at a local shop of the city I was in at the time.
That is cheap.
No one will ever top Jaguar King's story of how he allegedly got his PSTV.
Yeah.
I don't tell it as well as he does, but the way he tells it is he haggled it for $5.
What?
That's insane. I love when he
tells that story because I'm like, there's no way.
Now,
what are we gonna do? You know,
for European people, PSTV cost around $200, I would say.
Let me pull up an eBay price really quick while we let Raven shoot us and we Call of Duty Martyrdom style defeat him with grenades.
Yep, so because we've got so many rations and we can use them to beat Raven, the quickest way is to just drop a grenade. Every time he hits us, we drop a new grenade and just tank all of the damage. Very, very easy fight, that one. And then we get all of our health back.
While Nick mashes through the codec here, quick listings for the PSTV. The lowest I can see is an auction untested for $75.50 plus shipping.
Yeah, that's insane.
The average price seems to be on a buy it now anywhere between $120 and this one for some reason at $240, but this is also complete in box.
Not to mention the price of a TTS, for example, but that's insane.
All right, we are now getting towards the end game. We finally have some Stinger missiles, and we actually fought a boss for the first time. That boss fight there against Raven was the first boss fight, but it is a very, very important boss fight because it ranked me up, and it means that Snake now can actually carry ammo for weapons. Up until that point, we still had a maximum of 0 ammo for the Stinger. The game now, catapults forwards. We are completely on track. Normal gameplay now kind of continues from this point onwards.
Yeah, you're basically all bosses now. On the all bosses route now.
We're just missing some equipment that you'd usually have. We don't have the SOCOM. We don't have the SOCOM. We don't have the Nikita, and that's about it actually.
And now we know if you messed up or not.
Did I get enough alerts? I'm pretty sure I got enough alerts. So as I said right at the start when we were doing the alert farming, this is the point where the number of alerts you have affects the game. We're about to go into the control room for the first time. There's going to be a cutscene, and during that cutscene, Ocelot is going to shoot the PAL key that we have on us out of Snake's hand. We have to go and retrieve it. It's going to drop down into the drainage ditch on the first floor. If I have less than 11 alerts, then the PAL key will be eaten by a rat, and I'll have to find the rat, kill the rat, and retrieve the key. It is much faster to have more than 11 alerts, where it will drop into a random location, one of 7 random locations in the ditch, and depending on which location I get, it will be faster than the rat. There are 3 positions that are faster than the rat.
I bet 4 got bombed.
So yes, if you are interested in, there are 7 positions. 6 is the best, and then they go down in order. So 5 is second best, 4 is third best, so on and so forth. Although then it wraps back round and 7 is the worst. One of the positions will also have a bomb. I don't want to pick the bomb up. So we always hope for 6 God Pal, but it is complete RNG.
If chat want to play,
1 or 7.
Choose a number between 1 and 7, and
Just hope
Or
it's,
pick
Someone
two and
new
pick one
wings.
of them to be the bomb.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not 7.
Oh my gosh, if it's 7.
And
You're not
this,
puzzled,
you have hit-
so you will.
7
not
is
have
like... I forget the maths behind it, but I think 7
I think
is
it's less
slightly
chance-
slower than the average rat.
I think you have like
6! God's
Ooh.
palki!
10% chance, I think, something like that.
That,
We
wa-
take
that,
these.
that was the best
take these at
palki
any
position. That was really nice.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
I really hope the MGS3 RNG is going to make up for that. Really, like you, the worst fury ever. Please, game.
Right, you're here for the reality check. Got it.
Thankfully, there isn't really much RNG in MGS2.
Nope, not really.
In fact, I think in MGS3 it really is only the Fury, isn't it?
There is a few moments which have RNG. I can think of a shotgun guy at the end of the when you go by the waterfall.
Oh yeah. Whether that last ocelot unit shoots you in the back.
Yeah, and
Oh, right, very
that's about
easy.
it. Yeah, that's
I run
very
Euro,
easy.
and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
My brain is in Euro mode. Oh my goodness.
We didn't mention that, but there is quite a few differences with what run looks like in Extreme. But yeah, that's more of a Glenn question.
One other little trick you
And
might
Nick too.
have noticed
Sorry.
me doing there. I realise I've done it several times. I haven't explained it once. It's called skating. The platforms that we're on make noises as Snake runs over them. I will demonstrate in just a second. Oh, there we go. That last couple of steps before I got to the ladder, the really slatted pieces of flooring. Guards can hear Snake walk over that. So we have a technique called skating where we very quickly equip and unequip a weapon, and what that does is it resets Snake's running animation so that he never puts his foot down on the floor and therefore cancels out all of that noise. And that's how I've been getting to those guards without them hearing me.
Should mention as well that he's slower than walking with a weapon, so we tend to avoid doing it if we can.
Yes, that's something that's would have probably been worth mentioning from the start. Snake runs faster when he has a weapon equipped, which is why, particularly in an any percent run, you will normally see runners running around with the chaff grenades. The chaff grenade is, unless you're playing very easy and you have the MP5, the chaff grenade is the first weapon that you pick up. If you're playing the original PC port, the chaff grenade is very helpful because of weapon hotkeys. It's right next to the PSG1 on the keyboard, and that's used for an out-of-bounds glitch. So yeah, more often than not, you'll see Snake running around with a chaff grenade. We are on to the most exciting portion of the Metal Gear Solid 80% run. It's the power key sequence.
More
I thought we were just
waiting.
chilling in here.
I mean, it is pretty cold.
Yeah. We are chilling for about like 40 minutes, I think.
61
60?
seconds. There we go.
Oh, I mean the old sequence, but yeah, 61 seconds is the time for the key to transfer, basically.
So as the story goes, Snake was led to believe there were 3 PAL keys that he needed to use. The PAL keys, we're putting these into the computers in the control room because they are a safety override to shut down Metal Gear. That's Metal Gear. That's Metal Gear Rex on that big platform. The terrorists have armed it. They can launch a nuclear weapon with it at any time, so we're using the PAL keys to shut it down. But there's only one key, but it's a shape memory alloy. So the first one we put in was at room temperature. The second one we're going to put in now is it frozen, and then the last one is going to be it heated. We're going to have to go all the way back to the blast furnace to heat it. It's not a particularly exciting portion of this run, but it is mandatory, and it's one of the reasons why Twin Snakes is a much better speedrun.
I disagree with that strongly. I must disagree with that strongly because the TTS is something that starts with the letter S. But I can say it because Nick is going to punish me if I'm saying it.
I disagree because GameCube controller.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Twin
That and
cutscene.
I'm not gonna lie, the first person aiming in Twin Snakes absolutely just destroys the level design of this game.
Yes. So Twin Snakes is a GameCube exclusive remake of this game. It is basically this game rebuilt in the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine. And it was directed by a different person. The cutscenes are very campy, over the top, and dumb.
Think Metal Gear Solid as directed by Michael Bay, but it's also an anime.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
It's crazy. The best way to try and wrap your head around it and just accept it for what it is the headcanon that it's Otacon retelling the story. So because Otacon's like a massive Snake fanboy at this point, he like bigs everything up and makes Snake this crazy action star.
I do agree with Nick on one point about TTS, because TTS really is a really good game to speedrun. Way better than in MGS1 because most of the waiting is just out of the run, so it makes for a better
The
speedrun,
waiting is why all bosses is starting to become a more popular category.
Yeah.
So in Twin Snakes, at this point where we're freezing the keys, rather than having to come back to the warehouse and go all the way back to the blast furnace, which we're now on our way to, there's a set of pipes in one corner. You use hanging to drop down and grab a ledge, and there's two pipes there. One is a cold pipe and one is a hot pipe, and they instantly freeze and heat the key. So once you go into the underground layer where Rex is, you never leave again. Unless you're doing all dog tags, then you do have to leave at once to go back to the warehouse. But yeah, you never have to leave, and this section takes like 2 minutes instead of 10 minutes. Yeah, that's I love Twin Snakes. If you've heard my name before, it's very likely because I ran Twin Snakes for Summer Games Done Quick 2023, which is great. I had Glenn on the couch for me for that one.
We should mention then that Glenn is going to run MGS1 alternate round for GTQ as well.
That is true, yes.
Flattery will get you everywhere, boys.
Yes, Glenn will be running the PC, the original PC port that we've been talking about on Extreme. Extreme,
which is a really different beast because the PC. If you think MGS1 on console is broken, definitely go watch MGS1 OG PC run.
Very, very bad port that is completely torn apart in a speedrun.
The joke is that it was made by 6 people in Konami's basement.
With very, very little assistance from Konami.
Oh no, it's like, you know the joke where it's like, how did you find me? I mean, your walls! Yeah, those are in the basement.
And there is an old legend saying that they pretty much like record the music from the MGS1 PS1 port.
Something Yarhar Fiddly D is how the rumor goes.
Yeah, Konami didn't give them the original audio tracks to use, so they used ripped versions that had been uploaded online because they got no official support.
I'm willing to bet they didn't give them much of a source code at the time either.
Probably not.
I think Konami just didn't care about PC, to be honest.
At the time that at the time, I could see why that might make sense to somebody.
So once again, we're just waiting 61 seconds for the card key to go. We do usually use live split when playing these games to tell us exactly when to go. I haven't got live split open at the moment because it's 3 games back to back and it's just a pain. I usually wait for that guard to turn there. There we go. That tells me that the card key is now red and we have to race back down to the bottom. Eventually the card key will turn back to normal, but it is a very, very generous amount of time.
I never see that happen, to be honest.
You never
Like,
see it in a speedrun.
I'm not even sure casually you can see it, like if you, unless you intend it to happen. I don't think it's ever going to.
Oh yeah, it's a super long time until it changes back. So let's make our way back down, and then stuff will happen rather than just running around. It's one of the things that kind of makes the any percent run of this category a little bit boring, a little bit grindy. Particularly if you're trying to get a decent time, it gets very grindy because it's just this. And as Glenn mentioned, all bosses is becoming more and more popular just because you actually get to do stuff in it.
And PC have a way to skip codec during that phase, so yeah, at least PC is good for that. And when I mean PC, I mean the OG PC, not the Master Collection PC.
Not this.
I should say, if you are interested in playing Metal Gear Solid 1 casually and not speedrunning, I mean, if you want to speedrun the Master Collection, absolutely go for it. There's no harm in doing it. It's not the fastest version, but it's an absolutely fine version to run. But if you do just want to play it casually, the Master Collection is definitely the right way to go for ease. Emulator is also fantastic, though.
I think we should mention as well, because I mentioned that because that's where I learned the run basically. Nick has a great tutorial for the PC version of this YouTube channel, so I did learn from that. So yeah.
The only problem with my tutorial video is I released it 1 week before the boomer skip got found.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty outdated, but
so
yeah.
it's very outdated at this point.
It's still usable.
It's certainly a good way to get into the
Good
series.
starting point, and that's fine.
Metal Gear Solid 1 is a very popular game to get started with Metal Gear speedrunning. A lot of runners will also recommend Metal Gear Solid 2. It's kind of down to personal preference, but it's usually 1 or 2 that runners will use to get started with the series. And with the Master Collection now, they're both very, very accessible.
Especially free, since it is the only other version than the Xbox and PS5, I think, game.
Oh, out of the 3 games, Metal Gear Solid 3 won out the best when it came to the Master Collection.
Yeah, true.
At least for speedrunning.
And I have one question for you, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like my sunglasses?
So what you're saying is I need to go get my sunglasses and put them on.
I don't have my Twitch.
Okay, hang on.
I don't have my Twitch sunglasses with me.
You could put that on. Oh, sorry. You can put
All
them
right.
on.
This was a mistake. I can no longer see the game. They
There's
don't
nothing
like
to see,
screens.
so-
It's oh yeah, it's the end of MGS 1. There's nothing to see yet.
Kick that guy. And we're going to put in
I
the
forgot these.
final punky.
I forgot they don't like monitors. I can't even use my phone and wear those sunglasses.
Right, so we put in the final PAL key, and then we learned that Master Miller is not really Master Miller. It's actually Liquid Snake in disguise. And the terrorists never had the capability of launching a nuclear missile. And instead of deactivating Metal Gear with the PAL keys, we've activated it instead.
Well, I think I saw Python in chat, so let me do my best Snake impersonation for him. I can't. I tried.
That was something. So we call Otacon. Otacon opens this door for me. We're going to get a brief glimpse of Eli. Liquid Snake. And go on, I'll play it just for you.
Liquid!
Shout out to Joe, by the way.
Did you like my sunglasses?
Thank you.
It's great. It's a great line. Great line.
I don't get to see that anymore.
So now the fight against Metal Gear Rex, because we're on easy, we don't really need to worry about avoiding damage. We can just tank everything. I think I'm slightly too far forwards.
We probably should mention that you are leaning so you don't take the machine gun like shot on the second phase, actually.
No, just tank. I've got 4 rations. We just tank it.
Oh, you tank it? Oh, this
Yeah,
is very easy. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. If you're playing this on extreme, it's a very different story. You do a lot of leaning. So if you're in first person, you can use L1 and R1 to lean left and right, and that will dodge damage. But on easy, we have so many rations. It's just easy to just stand still, take the hits, and tank it with rations. We have this one little unskippable cutscene.
And here come the best moment in the game. Ladies and gentlemen.
I see you!
Stood just slightly too far forwards. Now I've stood slightly too far back.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better.
Really funny how well this fight depends on your positioning in this version.
This is better. There we go.
Way
and
better.
that is Metal Gear Rex. So we've got one more boss fight to go, and this is the boss fight against Liquid. So this is a fist fight on top of Metal Gear. And for this fight, I'm going to be attempting what's called an infinite liquid punch. I'm going to get Liquid into a position where I just continually punch him over and over again, never do a kick until the very end, and keep him in a loop where he can't move. I need to be able to listen to my button presses, so I'm going to be muting my audio. I won't be able to hear the game. I won't be able to hear Blues and Glenn either. But I'll let you know when I've muted, so you can start talking crap about me behind my back.
Yep. I'm guessing he's going to go for no throw.
I will indeed.
We love the throws.
This bit is unskippable, which is why I haven't skipped it.
If you cross this line,
At least there's voice acting.
at this
True.
height, it will kill even you.
All right, so I am now muting. I cannot hear anything.
Have at you, Snake.
Alright, so let's see here. We've got ourselves a few methods, but the short of it is there's a rhythm.
Nice.
Nick's gonna punch him at that rhythm, and we've lost that rhythm, but that happens from time to time. So it's all about recovery for Nick at this point in order to get back into that rhythm, and hopefully Liquid stays within a straight line so that Snake can continue punching him, but he's not behaving.
Yep. We should mention that the no-throw strat is the hardest to pull off because it both requires you to master the double punch and the single punch at the same time. Because you have to make a transition to single shot, single punch.
It is definitely the hardest version of this fight you will see in any actual speedrun. There is an IL strat, but it is... well, it's about 5 seconds faster than any of the other strategies. However, good luck getting it in a run.
Not my best.
That was a fight of all time. We'll take it.
it was an horrible liquid. Like
Hurry!
you are punished for the NG you got in the run. Finally.
That makes up for the god rat. So the difficulty with that fight is you do sometimes have to switch to single punches. You usually do a double punch, but if you don't switch to single punches, then eventually Liquid will move too far away from you, and you'll lose the combo. But switching between double and single can be a bit awkward, and unfortunately I just messed it up. But you did kind of get to see a little bit of what was going on and what we were trying to do there.
The first half was pretty good. You mess up the transition in single punch.
I just
So,
recommend
yeah,
downloading the metronome, and even if you don't want to speedrun the game and do the infinite, the metronome is an absolute banger. Or at least the double punch one is.
I don't think it's the best way to learn it because I did try and I struggled so much with this. But yeah,
It's more for learning the rhythm for punching, not so much listening to it in the fight. If that makes sense, please.
yeah.
Like, I
get
know
what you
of a
mean.
couple of runners that did listen to it in the fight and it worked for them, but I know that does not work for
There's a lot
everyone.
of
It
different
didn't work
ways.
for me either.
There's a lot of different ways of doing that fight. There's a lot of different setups as
Yeah.
well. So I do what's called a zero throw, where I move around in the way that I did. But there's single throw, double throw, where you throw liquid into certain positions first. Some are easier than others. I actually find if I'm playing on PSTV, I have to do a double throw because there's input lag on the PSTV, and I can't do a zero throw with the input lag. But this is the very end of Metal Gear Solid 1. We have this little fight against Liquid. He does have a health bar. We can't see it. I think it's 16 HP on easy and very easy.
Yes.
Now, normally for a speedrun, we would go through the end credits, and the time would be when the score screen appears after the credits. But because we're in a marathon setting, we don't watch the credits. It takes too long. So we're just going to, as soon as the game goes to black, we will call time and move on to the next game in the series.
And you wouldn't get a score screen anyway because you were you were supposed to play on very easy.
Yes.
Yep. So
All
RTA
right.
would have ended when the timer disappeared for very easy anyway. So instead, it's Metal Gear Solid 2!
Pushing the wrong buttons. So we want to load a game. Load this save because we play on New Game Plus.
Yeah. I think you should mention why.
I'll type 1, and that is Metal Gear Solid 2 underway. Lovely. I hope we've got sound. Pretty sure I set this all up
That's in
correctly.
River.
Yes, we're good. So we play on New Game Plus because there is an unskippable cutscene if you play on New Game, which adds about 5 or 6 minutes to the run.
7, I think.
So 7
thought it
minutes
was-
to the run.
I thought it was 17.
It's not.
Really?
It's definitely not 17.
How long is the Stillman cutscene? Runners are
I think
still
it is
unsure.
About 6 minutes, let's say.
It's roughly 3 and some change, if I remember right.
One of the nice things, though,
5 hours.
about this trilogy speed run is seeing the difference in the games. I mean, the contrast between Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 is massive. We're now in
Visually, yeah.
We're now in 16:9. We have beautiful textures. This game was an absolute pioneer of the PlayStation 2. The difference from 2 to 3 isn't as noticeable. It's still pretty much the same engine and obviously the same original console. But it is a really nice way of seeing how the series evolved.
One
Kojima's
thing,
good for anything with new hardware. It was pushing it to its boundaries.
Oh, absolutely.
True.
You only have to look at Metal Gear Solid 4 for what he did with
And
what
2.
he did with that. And oh yeah, and 2.
The amount of
I would
tiny
say
little
2.
details in MGS2 is astounding
Right,
for
Olga?
2000.
So yeah, we're in our first boss fight. This is Olga. It's random whether she starts off going left or right. For me, I prefer right. Left is faster if you can do the trick with left. Oh, I missed the headshot, but I got that one. That's fine. One more headshot, and this fight will be over. Oh, she decided to like do a little move there. There we go. And that's Olga.
Left Olga is insanely difficult. Like really insanely difficult. So yeah.
Fun fact: I have been speedrunning the Metal Gear series and taking. Oh,
Nice.
Oh my gosh, a dab drop.
I didn't even
edition.
I didn't even have turbo on.
I think you should explain why we are like worried.
Yeah, it's that. You may have noticed that Snake like didn't drop down off that ledge. He just kind of ran off. I tapped the weapon button on the exact frame required to do that trick. It is extraordinarily difficult. It's basically random because it is frame perfect and we're running at 60 frames per second. That was, and you usually use turbo to try and do it. But I didn't have turbo enabled. I just did it.
We love that 1 in 60 shot.
That was amazing.
All right.
But yeah, as I was, we're gonna do, we are gonna do a glitch. There is another glitch here that we're gonna do, and this is called the Prozac skip. I think that. Oh, I got it right.
Yeah,
First
nice.
try too.
So that
I think we should mention that it works on TTS too.
it does also work on the Twin Snakes, and is
Ironically, it takes more time on the Twin Snakes than it does here.
moved on
Also,
a
I
little
think
bit too far forwards.
one of only like 2 instances where tech in Metal Gear Solid 2 is transferable to Metal Gear Solid to Twin Snakes. It's not very often that that's happened.
No, it isn't. It actually works very similarly to the Boba skip. We made Snake's hitbox extend out enough so that he triggers the loading screen on the other side of the door. Just instead of taking damage, we used a. Oh, I'm not holding buttons correctly. Instead of taking damage, we used a weapon to make Snake spin around and extend his hitbox. I've made a complete hash of getting past this guard because I've not been focusing, but we should be fine. I'll run through this quickly, grab some more USP ammo, and we're through. Phew! We're getting through to our second, and I'll just grab some spare USP ammo just to be on the safe side. Our second and final boss of the tanker section. MGS2 is split into 2 different sections, the tanker section and the plant section. We'll take out that guard. Take out that guard. Hopefully... I missed the guard behind. It's fine, he'll pop up in a second. There he goes. And last 3...
These are the same on every difficulty. Pop, pop, pop. Those last 3 don't count as kills.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Why, you might ask? Because the game faded out before they disappeared.
Yeah, the cutscene killed those guys, not.
It's true. Let's see if we can't get ourselves a good old ladder glitch here.
Nope, that's...
Nope.
That is...
We'll try that again.
A nice recovery, at least.
Yeah. Was lucky.
That's better. There we go.
There we go. That's the fast version.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I just won't deal with that guard. So that's the ladder glitch. By equipping the camera and then getting on the ladder with the camera equipped, it kind of puts Snake into this glitch state. There's a few different versions of that trick. That's the fastest version called the mag ladder, which does require turbo to use as well. Pretty funky.
One thing you should mention is while you are near a transition, you tend to roll because rolling into transition is faster than walking.
Just a hair. Yeah, but I was gonna say that first one didn't count.
Yeah, I didn't hit that. Yeah, you get a little confirmation noise if that's not correctly.
We totally saw the Marines logo. It's totally fine.
Yeah, we're supposed to take 4 photos of Metal Gear Ray there. One from the front left, front right, and one of the Marines logo. But the way the Marines logo one works, you don't actually have to be looking at it. You just have to be looking in the direction of it. So we point it in the direction where it is on Ray. We just don't actually have to see it in the photo.
The game goes, okay.
That is the end of the tanker section. We now move on to the plant section, where we take on a new protagonist, Raiden.
It is the last time we play as Solid Snake today.
That's it. Snake. Yes, Solid Snake story is now over.
Metal Gear 2: Guns of Patriots. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, fun fact, I have been speedrunning and doing Metal Gear Solid games at marathons for about 3 to 4 years at this point. 3 years. I think I'm on 3 years. This marathon is the first time I have ever showcased Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've done Metal Gear Solid 1 numerous times. I've done Metal Gear Solid 3 loads. I've done loads of other Metal Gear games in the series. But this is actually the first time I've ever ran Metal Gear Solid 2 in a marathon setting.
And I must say, out of the 3 game, the second one is your weak point.
It is. There is a reason this is the first time I'm running Metal Gear Solid 2 in a marathon setting. MGS 2 is definitely my weakest in the weakest of the 3. I'm not sure I'd say it's my weakest of the series. That probably goes to Ghost Babel. Terrible Ghost Babel runner.
Says the guy who has a world record in Ghost Babel.
I do indeed have a world record in Ghost Babel. Stage 1 stage 1 level. I have the world records.
Same.
I mean, so do 35 other people.
I'm pretty sure everyone in this call has world record in Ghost Babel Stage 1. Right, Blues? You've done it, yeah?
No.
Oh, I got it. It's a free world record.
It is. If anyone would like a world record, go on speedrun.com, find Metal Gear Ghost Babel, go to stage 1, watch any run, learn in 5 minutes.
Ghost Babel, by the way, is the Game Boy Color Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, which is a good game, by the way. You should.
Oh,
it's actually a very good game.
Fantastic. For a Game Boy Color game, it is fantastic.
Even just overall, it's a very good game.
For PAL regions, like me and Blues, it's just called Metal Gear Solid. It's not called Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel.
Ghost Bagel.
And I do agree that it's pronounced Babel. I used to call it Babel.
Not Babel, I said Bagel.
But if you actually look at the original Japanese name for it, it is pronounced Babel. So the start of Metal Gear Solid 2's plant section is a little bit slow. There's a lot, even though we've already done the tanker, it still kind of reintroduces us and acts as a bit of a tutorial. Luckily, it doesn't last too long. We are about to get to the Stillman cutscene, which we will get to skip, thankfully, because we're on New Game Plus. But also, it kind of gets us into the main sort of flow of at least the first half of the plant section. You'll notice that I'm doing lots of cartwheels. It is very, very slightly faster to move by cartwheeling, or aerials as they're actually called. Unless you mess them up. If you mess one up and like aerial into a wall, that slows you down. Those are the 2 cutscenes that we get to skip in New Game Plus. And we can get started with the bomb disposal section. One of the bosses in the game, Fat Man, has hidden a bunch of C4 all around the plant. Iroquois Pliskin, our friend that we met in Strut B, has gone to Shell 2 in order to take out all of the bombs there. Raiden is tasked with doing the same in Shell 1. So we've got to go to every single strut, find the C4, freeze it with the coolant spray. You saw me do that already. And then move on. On very easy difficulty, in fact, in the first few difficulties, there is one bomb in each strut. They're always in the same place. It's not until I think hard where it starts adding extra bombs in other locations. It's either hard or extreme.
So, yeah. And we should mention that the bombs are placed in different places depending on the difficulty, which make it basically we know where they are. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, they may be in different.
I think the only oddball is the one in Strut F. And I say oddball because it's still in the same little cubbyhole of containers, but it moves for some reason. No idea why. Like on very easy, it's on the wall, but on higher difficulties, it gets moved to an actual container to the point where you don't actually have to climb on them. So you may be seeing Nick swapping to the coolant in order to stand up. It's an animation cancel. Saves us about a second per standing up.
One little glitch there. As long as you are in the right position, you can hit that C4 from the other side. There was a red pipe, and what you're supposed to do normally is crawl underneath that red pipe and get around to the other side to spray that C4, but there's just one sweet spot, which is it's relatively easy to get into that sweet spot, where you can spray it from behind. Saves us
I use Raiden's knees as a visual cue there.
Take that guy out. Oh, there's gonna be a guy.
That was.
Here. That looked weird.
Yeah, I mean it worked, but I'm very confused by that.
So our next one is...
he acted like he was distracted, and then he just kind of passed out. Like, all right.
Next one is here. There's also two different routes for this bomb disposal section. There's clockwise and anti-clockwise, because the big shell is in two sort of connecting circles. I'll very briefly pause it. There you go. That's what the big shell looks like. Gonna get another call here.
A thing of beauty.
So you can go either way round. You can either go clockwise or anti-clockwise. On very easy difficulty, at least, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. As you go higher up in difficulty, anti-clockwise starts to become faster. I always go anti-clockwise because I think it's a little more interesting. There's a glitch and there's a bit more movement and traverse around. We get to actually use one of the in-game mechanics for warping as well. So as I say, I think it's just a little bit more interesting than clockwise, so I always go for it. You also get to use cardboard boxes, which you don't if you go clockwise. And everyone knows the cardboard box is the best item in the game. But
totally not broken.
But we'll save that for Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of things that can go bad pretty easily in 3. But we'll talk about it in due time, I think.
So in this codec, we discover that Peter Stillman is a big fat liar. He doesn't need his cane. He's been feigning injury all these years. Third long story, a bomb went off because he made a mistake and he wanted people to feel sorry for him. So he pretended that he lost his leg. Yeah. Nice story. Cool guy. Knows a lot about bombs.
And
so
he's
this
never
is
seen again.
so this is the this is the glitch that we get to use in an anti-clockwise route. We get to come up here onto the conveyor belt, hop into this box, and the orange box here is going to take us back to Strut C. So this is where we started. We still have one more bomb to go, but we get to come to Strut C early and grab sensor B. So you may see I've got sensor A equipped at the moment. That's what's giving us the visual cue on the radar as to where the bombs are. Sensor B is a slightly different one, which we have to collect for story reasons, which gives a sound cue as to where the bombs are. We don't really use them because we know where the bombs are anyway. But we're now going to go into strut D, the final strut. We haven't had this one yet. So run down here. You can see the sort of yellow cloud on the radar. That's sensor A telling us where the bomb is, which is under here. Take that guy out. Spray the bomb, and that is all of the C4 for now. There are still more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. There's still 5 more to go, but we don't have to go running around struts. So rather than head back, we're going to just go outside and start heading back towards Strut E, which was the parcel room. We get a call. Peter's a bit confused about where the bombs have been placed. He says that they're not placed very well, and it seems to be a trap. Pliskin gets rid of his last one, and that starts a timer on a bigger bomb in a more useful place. So we've got to head towards it and get that, which is back in Strut A. So we're going to use the parcel room once again to quickly walk back to Strut A. So once again,
You mean the game have a story? I never noticed that.
so we're in Strut A, and we can head all the way back to the very start of the plant section. Head back down the elevator. Back down to the dock at the start. Doesn't sound familiar, does it? Raiden is going to face his first boss. We're going to be fighting Fortune, who cannot be defeated. It's not really a boss, it's more a survive until time runs out. But there are some ways that we can sort of trick the game into making her speed things up a little bit. So that was the bomb down here. Again, that's always in the same place, but does move depending on difficulties. It's not. There's no RNG, but if you're on different difficulties, it is in a slightly different location. So as we go into the fight against Fortune, I'm gonna set this up by punch, 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 and sit here. What should happen, if that was set up correctly, is Fortune is going to shoot the box. She's going to shoot the forklift truck twice or 3 times to get it out of the way. She'll shoot Raiden, and then hopefully she shoots the lights. There we go. The way that this fight works and progresses is that it moves on depending on how much stuff Fortune has destroyed. So we manipulate her a little bit to try and get her to destroy more stuff quicker. So destroying those lights is very fast. We're now trying to get her to destroy these barrels that I'm up against because they're one shot. Hopefully she'll shoot that. Nope. Come on, Fortune. Your aim's not very good today.
There it goes.
Same one on the other side. Oh, and this is the first time we get to hear Yell Dead Cell, which is the boss theme, and it's an absolute banger.
Coolest boss music. Weirdest way to introduce such a thing. With a boss you cannot defeat.
Yeah, true.
And that's the Fortune fight.
Yay!
Now we're going to actually go to the first real boss that we're going to fight. This is the Fat Man fight. He's placed a bomb on the heliport, so we've got to go get to the heliport within 500 seconds, defuse that bomb, Nice, I didn't hit that claymore. And then we get to fight Fat Man. So once again, it's a run through the plant, avoiding guards. And we get to use the cardboard box a little bit more now. The cardboard box has a very special ability where it scares guards. There we go. Rather than shoot me or anything, I equip the cardboard box and the guard just runs away. We'll do it again. Let's watch this. So intimidated. One of the other advantages of the cardboard box is Raiden doesn't flinch when he gets shot when he's wearing the box. It's very, very, very useful. Run back over the EF connecting bridge. Mind the claymores that are still on there. And back.
Something tells me that it's not the only box trick we are going to see tonight.
There may be some more. But we might have to wait for another game for that.
Please, sir, I want some more.
So back up to the heliports. You may remember that the bomb was the bomb that we defused earlier was underneath a Harrier, and that Harrier's not there anymore. Foreshadowing. Here's the bomb that we actually need to defuse, and that is Fat Man skating. So Fat Man fight. We're going to run to here. Going to shoot him a bunch. Shoot him in the head once there. Swap to the coolant and defuse our first bomb. Swap back to the SOCOM. Oh, shoot him in the head before he gets back up. Shoot him one more time. That finishes the fight. And one more bomb. And that is the Fat Man fight.
Easy.
And then our final bomb is underneath Fat Man. We get Peter Stillman's dog tag from him. Defuse the bomb. And move on. That is the end of the bomb section. There are no more C4s to defuse. We move on to sort of Act 2 of the plant section. So one of our primary objectives in the mission is to rescue the president. The president of the United States is here on Big Shell. He's been taken hostage by the terrorists, but there's also a bunch of other hostages. They're being held in B1 of the Shell 1 core, and we now need to get into B1 of the Shell 1 core. We're given a disguise by the Cyborg Ninja, the BDU. We just need one more thing to make it complete, which is a weapon, and we can use this disguise to get into B1 of the Shell 1 core. Going to head back down south, the EF connecting bridge, which you may have noticed as we ran across it a couple of times that there is another route over to the left. We'll take that route now.
We should mention as well there is mine that platform.
Another codec. Now, sadly, the president isn't with the other hostages, but we're going to meet up with another hostage called Ames. And this Ames is kind of the PAL key of MGS2. On New Game Plus, Ames is in a random location. If you're playing on New Game, he's always in the same position, but as we explained earlier, there is 7 minutes of unskippable cutscenes if you play on New Game. So we have to deal with Ames's RNG. Luckily, it's not very big. Before we do that, though, we're going to explode this claymore, triggering an alert and an evasion. Whilst under evasion or caution, the guards still don't see through Raiden's disguise. On alert, they will. But the advantage of doing this is that all of the guards that would normally just be patrolling in here move out of the way. They don't get in the way anymore. There's another guard who does this weird running around for some bizarre reason, and he has a cutscene that interrupts things. But most importantly, the lift door stays open. We don't have to wait for the lift door to come back down. It's just slightly quicker to do that. We now head up to B1. We're going to knock on this wall here. Wait for this guard to come around the corner. And grab him. Use him for the retinal scan to get inside.
Retinal pattern recognized. You are cleared to enter.
You are cleared to enter. Welcome to Pizza Planet. So I do that every time. Because I'm very, very childish. Ooh, whoops. Right. Ames could be in lots of... is that Ames? No, that's not Ames. Luckily, we know what Ames looks like. So we can just keep running around until we find him. I've got a really bad Ames. There he is. That's a really bad Ames location. And then use the D-mic to identify him. When I aimed the D-mic at him, you may have heard a clicking noise. That's because Ames has got a pacemaker. So that's how we know that he is Ames. Because he has a pacemaker and we use the D-mic to detect it. So that's why we went down to B2 first to get the D-mic. In a cutscene, Ames is killed, Raiden is revealed, and now we need to escape. Call the elevator. Go up before I get an alert. One thing about playing on the very easy difficulty is that alerts don't really mean a lot. Any alert that you get is immediately wiped. I do want that. Is immediately wiped the moment you leave the room. Very easy, only difficulty where that happens. Every other difficulty, if you leave the room whilst on an alert, you'll enter the next room on an evasion. So, we were told by Ames that the president is being kept in Shell 2. Shell 2 is severely flooded. Due to the explosion from earlier, which killed Stillman. And we need to get there. So we're going to grab a PSG-1, the sniper rifle, because the bridge between Shell 1 and Shell 2 has Semtex, and we need to be able to shoot the sensors. So similarly to how we shot some Semtex sensors in the tanker, we're going to shoot them on here, but we need to use the PSG-1 because they're very, very far away. You two are very quiet all of a sudden. What? Still very quiet?
We are still there. Don't worry.
Phew, I thought like I lost connection or something.
No, we are there.
So now we get to go through this door to the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge. There is a codec call. And once I've done this little sniping section, we are going to come on to what is probably the hardest boss in this run, at least. So shoot that. It's only a few sensors. The higher the difficulty, the more sensors there are. But there's not that many on very easy.
That's true for all the game, because usually you have like D&D, for example, in 1 is a pretty hard boss. So does the area. So any flying like boss is pretty hard for us.
3, 4.
That one missed.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Yep.
He's gone that way first. There's lots of different methods and ways of getting through this fight. Unfortunately, I have already messed up the fastest, but this isn't going too bad. That land. Oh, that would have been nice if that had landed. I need to get set up for the kill shot. Oh, I am not in the right position here. A little bit slow. Hopefully I can still finish this before we go into his side-scrolling section.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
As long as you hit both of these.
There we go.
Nice.
That's not too bad. I take that. Yeah, there's so many different variations of how you can deal with that fight. But that for,
Yeah, I
for a
think we
marathon
should
run, I'm reasonably happy with that.
we should mention that usually on harder difficulty, we usually use what we call corner shot, which basically makes Raiden immune to damage. That's basically how we dodge mostly missiles in rockets, I think.
So we need to head around the outside of Strut L. I'm gonna use the chaff grenades that I picked up to get through it nice and quick. Oh, that was an example of a bad aerial, aerialing straight into the wall there. So I'm going to throw a chaff grenades. I'm going to deliberately take an alert from this guards, and the chaff grenade is going to stop the Cypher gun turrets that would be flying around shooting me at this point. Oops.
It really is the worst part of the run for me, that part.
Down here.
I mean, the
Some
BDU does help to kind of avoid being seen and all, but it's still a pretty hard part, I think.
Now, unlike Shell 1, where in Shell 1 we went around every single strut, in Shell 2 we only really get to see the core. We do get a Master Collection exclusive trick.
We will not change the plan because of your personal feelings.
This is a cutscene. And by alt tabbing out, but it's a cutscene where the game kind of controls Raiden in engine. By alt tabbing out before the cutscene started, allows me to take control of Raiden during the cutscene. So this is exclusive to the Master Collection. You can't do this on any other version. It doesn't save a huge amount of time. There's lots of different places and examples of areas you can use that trick, but for every single area that's been found, that's the only time where it's useful in a speedrun. The same trick can be done in Metal Gear Solid 3. It uses the same engine. So any time where the game is still being played in engine, but the game has taken control of Snake for you, you can alt tab out and then take control of Snake during that moment. But this is the only time where it's useful. We don't actually skip the cutscene when I go back up in this elevator. The cutscene will replay, but what it does do is it teleports Raiden back to the start of the room. So there we go, we're now back at the start of the room, so we avoid the walk back from the elevator background. There we go, so we're now here.
So we get to keep the elevator sound.
Yes, the elevator, because the elevator never completed, we now have to hear the elevator sound until we restart the elevator again.
What are you doing?
Hopefully the president stays out of the way.
Stop it.
So destroy that, and now go meet up with the President of the United States of America, George Johnson. Sadly, the President is not going to be around for long. Still hear the elevator. Still hear the elevator. President's dead. Ocelot shot him.
No.
And now the president advised us to meet up with Emma Emmerich, Ottocon's sister, who is down in B1 of this building. So we're going to go back down the elevator, go further through that swimming section, and meet up with her. And there is a trick in the swimming section called the swim glitch, which allows you to go out of bounds and saves, I think it's something like 18 seconds. I am really, really bad at it, so we're not going to be doing it. The amount of time it would take me to try and do it would not make up for the amount of time that's saved. There we go, and the elevator is now reset, and we don't have to hear that lovely noise anymore. And we're going to come across our next boss very shortly. This will be the first of the 2 Vamp fights. Vamp is a very, very fast boss on this difficulty. It's kind of a blink and you'll miss it moment. So, yeah, when the fight starts, make sure you don't blink. There's a little cutscene there of Raiden coming across Stillman's dead body, because this is where Stillman was when the explosion happened. Slowly go through these doors. And get ready to fight Vamp. Just before I go inside, I want to put the stinger on my previous. So that's what we're going to use to fight him. And that's Vamp!
GG.
Yay!
Lovely.
Surely he's not coming back.
That is
I'm sure he doesn't yet.
That is the first time Vamp dies. It won't be the last.
Spoilers.
Oh. Sorry, folks. Vamp definitely doesn't appear in Metal Gear Solid 4. Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say it. But Metal Gear 4 doesn't exist anyway, so...
Depends who you ask.
Since you kill Meryl, the MGS4 doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
He has a point.
No Meryl, no Johnny. Johnny makes 2 cameo appearances in Metal Gear Solid 2. We've already skipped the first one. The second one we could do, but it would speed up the speed run. Sorry, slow down the speed run. Take longer. That's what I'm trying to say. There are 2 instances in the game where you can use the D mic in a location. So when we were using the D mic to find Ames, after we found him, there was a cutscene where we had the D mic out. If you move over to a toilet in that room, Johnny's in that toilet having some bowel movement problems, just like he was in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Did we manage to avoid drowning?
We did manage to avoid drowning. One of the best lines in the game.
Yeah.
Yay.
The Colonel asks.
I must say,
the Colonel asks Raiden, "What is your situation?" And very proudly, Raiden announces, "We've managed to avoid drowning." It's a pretty poor piece of dialogue.
yeah.
But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. From the wonderful Quinton Flynn, voice actor for Raiden. You may remember him from such games as League of Legends, where he voices Jin.
And we should mention that, but MGS2 is the first game on the series that doesn't have a translator. It's directly translated from Japanese. So that's why you get strange line like this one. So thank you, Jeremy Brosty.
Emma doesn't like bugs, so we can't walk her over the bugs. So we just give her a little hug to get her over the bugs instead. On some versions of the game, there is a trick here you can use where you get Emma to go out of bounds. Unfortunately, it's not available in the Master Collection, so we can't do it. There's another small trick that you can do with Emma in some versions in this room, where right at the end of this room, we're going to go through a door and we can bump Emma through that door. And that saves a little bit of time. But on this version and other HD collection versions, there's a very good chance that it will crash the game, so we don't do it.
The Emma bump is possible, but the game tends to crash a lot when you do it. So it's better to avoid it completely.
So yeah, what you do is you let go of Emma just before you hit the door, and then run through Emma so that you and her both go through the door at the same time. And she just appears, when we come into here, she starts about here. So you have just a little bit less walking to do. So we're escorting Emma back to Shell 1. She has a virus that she's going to upload to the computer systems here to shut down the Metal Gear that's underneath the big shell. The big shell is a big con. It was built to hide a new Metal Gear called Arsenal Gear, which is massive and deep underground. But we need to gain access to Arsenal Gear. That's done. Yep. Use the coolant to put out the fire. And bring Emma over to the next strut. This is the only, apart from the Shell 2 core, this is the only strut that we actually go into in Shell 2, strut L. The other 5 struts remain unseen throughout the game.
And here come the boring parts, I would say.
Whoa, boring part. Yeah, all right.
Not allowed.
So the way that we are getting back to Shell 1 is to cross the oil bridge, or oil barrier. So there's a big ladder here that luckily we don't have to climb down. We'll save ladder climbing for the next game. They climb down it in a cutscene. And Emma is going to walk across the oil bridge, and we're going to provide covering fire with the sniper rifle. So this section is called Twilight Sniping. It's about 9 minutes, and it is very slow. There is nothing you can do. The only thing, you can't speed it up, but you can slow it down. There's a few guards that we'll have to take out.
Talking about ladder, I should mention that we may hear Nick sing.
Oh
again.
no, I'm not singing.
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not singing Snake Eater. I would not spoil the sanctity of that beautiful moment. Save that for my charity stream on Saturday.
Yeah, true.
Which, as we are in a 9-minute section of not a lot happening, I will just take out a couple of guards. Gonna be one coming around that corner, and that one there. Nice. And there should be one more cipher, I think. Yep, there it is. I think that's it. Oh no, there we go. I always forget this one. Cool. We're now waiting a little bit. Oh, I mentioned about Johnny's appearances, cameos. If we got the D mic out now, that strut right in the middle, Emma's going to walk behind it. If you get the D mic out whilst Emma's walking behind it, you discover that she runs into Johnny and they have a conversation. We would play it, but it does slow everything down. Emma stops moving and it's slow, so we won't play it. But it's just a little bit funny. But yes, as we're now on this long section of not a lot happening, if you are enjoying this Master Collection trilogy run, would like to see just a little bit more. This Saturday, I am on my own channel, twitch.tv/Nickrpgreen. I am running the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Pentology speedrun, which is these 3 games, but will also beforehand include Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which are the 2 MSX games that were also bundled in to the Master Collection. Fun fact, Metal Gear, the original, is the only game in the series older than I am. It's 2 years older than me. It was released in 1987. So yes, I'll be doing... Go on.
I realize you're younger than I am. Of course, whatever.
I'm still older than Snake's Revenge as well, which luckily we don't play that one on in the speedrun. Yes.
I mean, you should add it as a bonus.
No.
I would love to see you suffer through it.
I started a casual run on stream of Snake's Revenge the other week, and it was just awful. It was terrible. But yeah, if you like the idea of 5 Metal Gear games back to back for a 5-hour speedrun, then yeah, come and check that out. I'm raising money for City of Sanctuary UK as part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Plug over. We just get to enjoy the very groovy piece of music that is Twilight Sniping. Cheers, everyone.
And we all wish we could skip that part because, yeah, regardless of the difficulty, it's pretty boring.
Snake is here with us. There he is. You can use the D mic on Snake as well to hear his thoughts. Mainly, he considers whether he needs to ask Otacon before he asks Emma out. Snake's a player! We will have a couple more ciphers to take out in a second. And then Vamp 2. If you thought Vamp 1 was fast, then hold on to your butts.
Yep. Thanks to Turbo.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier. MGS2 is one of the games in the series where you're allowed to use Turbo as part of gameplay as well. So you used it for the Harrier fight. It's very important for the start of the Harrier fight. Vamp 2 is probably the fastest use of it. So you'll see that in just a second.
There is another use, which is the reason why it is allowed in the first place, but you know, we'll see that a little bit later.
Just gotta wait for Emma to get to in between those two pylons. There we go. And that was Vamp 2, everybody!
Yay!
Vamp has been defeated. So unfortunately, whilst we did take out Vamp very, very quickly, he still stabbed Emma. She's now bleeding out. You can see the blood on the floor. And we've got the optical disc that she needs to infect Arsenal Gear with the virus. So we're now on a time limit to get back to the computer room in Shell 1. So it's a short run. Doesn't take very long to get there. And then we will move into the end game. Back on the EF connecting bridge, we want to take out that cipher. And that cipher. And then luckily this time the elevator's there waiting for us. We don't have to wait for it. And now we go into another set of unskippable cutscenes, but also the one of the main reasons for Turbo being allowed in this run. There's a bit of an homage to the torture scene from Metal Gear Solid 1. There's Solidus. And on higher difficulties, the button mashing for the torture here, where he's going to choke Raiden with his tentacles, is nigh on impossible. And as speedrunners, we don't want to give ourselves RSI from speedrunning, repetitive strain injury. Because if you are constantly mashing over and over again, run after run, you are going to do serious damage to your hands. And we like our hands. It lets us hold a controller and do speedruns. So that's the main reason why Turbo is allowed in most Metal Gear games. That one's not too bad. There's a second choke later in the run, which is even worse.
That first one you don't even need to mash.
Yeah.
You can just
The
survive
second
that
one.
first one.
The second one tends to kill you, especially in extreme. You are in extreme.
Can confirm. At least they shortened it on the HD edition.
Mm.
And I don't know why they did that, because the PS2 version is way easier when it comes to mashing. Well, at least I remember it to be way easier.
Raiden is now
yeah.
naked.
Streaking mode.
So Raiden now must go and find Snake, who's at the end of this section, in order to get all of his stuff back.
And I think you need a scissor.
Once this guy, punch him, bump through him, and go for that. That's nice. It's a bit of a time loss if you drop down that hole. There's a slightly faster way of getting through that, but that's the way I just did that. There is a much safer and cleaner way. And now we go into this weird section, where all we're doing in here is just answering a few codec calls.
Which are honestly the best codec moments in the entire series, in my opinion.
They are
Like
all
a
very
lot of
strange.
There's a lot of references to old Metal Gear game, Ghost Babel, a lot of MGS 1 references as well. And you get to see Raiden as, which is something, at least.
Didn't run up far enough. This is the last one. So yeah, the Colonel and Rose have both gone a bit weird. They're spouting nonsense. And we find out later that the reason for this is because the Colonel wasn't real. And the Colonel was linked to Arsenal Gear's AI, and because we uploaded the virus to try and stop Arsenal Gear, it's now corrupted the AI that's been talking to us the whole time. Very, very weird. It was all massively ahead of its time. So this game was first released in 2002.
2001.
2001. But some of the themes and particularly around AI, free speech, fake news are so relevant today. It's really incredible. It is kind of like Kojima as a time traveler. Went back in time from now to make Metal Gear Solid 2 because it's so relevant today.
Either Kojima's a time traveler or the world just goes on the basis of his writings. I refuse to believe otherwise.
Now we have the Tengu fight, and if you remember from the tanker, we used a trick called the Prozac skip to skip the engine room and go through a door. We're going to do the same thing in this fight. This one was known a lot earlier because Raiden can do it slightly. He doesn't need a grenade to do it. He just needs to kick.
He can. He just doesn't need to.
Yeah, I need to wait for that guard's body to disappear. There we go.
There it goes.
This one is a lot more tricky as well.
There we go.
There it goes.
Couple of attempts. Yeah, exactly the same premise. We've extended Raiden's hitbox so that he hits the loading screen on the other side of the door. Now you can actually use that on any door in the game. However, so if you come across a locked door and you don't have the key card for it, you can use it and get through to the other side. However, every door has, when you enter a room, it has another animation where the door opens again. So as you leave a room, the door opens, there's an animation of Raiden going through the door. When you load into the next room, there's an animation of the door opening and Raiden walking through it. And if you don't have the right card key, the door won't open as you go back in, and you softlock the game because Raiden just gets stuck. So that is the only use of that trick. Here it looks like we've got a game over, but this is just the AI still going berserk. We just sit here and try and shoot down as many of these Tengus as we can. There's a number of Tengus that we have to kill before the end of the section. We just let Snake deal with the rest. Now we have this little bit to play out with, where we get the best line in the game. I absolutely adore Solidus. I think he's massively underused in the series. It's a shame that he was only in one game. His voice lines are just incredible. The voice actor and the voice that he puts on is such a good performance. And there's one line in this monologue which is just beautifully executed.
I definitely agree with that. But I think we should mention that the voice actor from the Japanese version was still used in later game. Just the American one wasn't.
Solid Snake's sudden appearance, your arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks. I had to smoke out the agent
Here it
before the
comes.
mission entered the final phase. You came in handy, as bait.
I just love the delivery of
Days
as
during the Civil
bait.
War were as real as they come.
There's one other really good line that we will have to listen to again. The end of Metal Gear Solid 2 is a bit slow. There's quite a lot of unskippable cutscenes and bits of dialogue we have to listen to. But we do get a boss fight. We are now going to fight Metal Gear Ray, and this is another. There's going to be another. Hopefully, if it goes right. Oh, I got that first shot was a bit slow. Oh, whoops.
Oh.
That's all right. It's not going to be. It's still not going to be that bad. So you only have to defeat 3 Rays on very easy, and they one shot to the mouth is enough to kill them. Oh, that other one was getting in my way. I have to shoot that again.
Oh,
That's right. That's all right. There we go. Done. Not ideal there, but
Are you awake yet, Jack? GW, the Arsenal AI.
yeah. The higher the difficulty, the more Rays you have to destroy, and the harder it is. You can't just shoot them once in the mouth and have it done. This is another banger line.
I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my son.
This is the second torture bit, which you do have to mash through. You can. I don't
Yeah.
think you'll die in very easy, but in other difficulties, you absolutely will.
I don't think you do up to easy. I think Glenn might correct me on that.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What?
I want the answers.
Well, you can die to this
the-
torture section in very easy. I can't remember. Right,
I can't either.
we are coming up to the final boss. So more cutscenes, loads more exposition. But the final boss is of course Solidus himself. It is a really cool fight. It's pretty easy. But it is a sword fight as well, which is really cool. There's a couple of little tricks in this fight that really help us speed it up. Getting Solidus into the right position at the end of the first phase. So we're going to punch, and then 1, 2, 3. Stand about here. This is going to force Solidus to go into this missile blast. I'm going to do that again. Stand about here. Oh, I wasn't stood far enough away. There we go. Move over here. He's going to dash to the left. We're going to phase 2. He's going to shed his tentacles, be a lot faster and a lot more fierce. There's a little bit of RNG here in exactly how he moves around. All we got to do is block him and hit and do 2 more hit combos on him. Oh, that was nice. Just 2 movements there. Then hopefully, if I stand right next to him, want him to kick. There we go. Lovely.
Nice.
That's some good RNG. And that is Metal Gear Solid 2. Again, normally we would sit through the credits, but this is a marathon setting, so we won't be doing that. Instead, we will jump straight in to Metal Gear Solid 3. MGS 3, why are you not on the stream? Give me a second, folks. Wise. It was here earlier.
Oh,
There we go. Sorry
I
about
was
that.
going to say OBS likes to mix them up. Like
There
if
we
you're
go.
playing 2 and then try to go immediately to 3, OBS is just like,
After the end of World
what,
War
Metal
II,
Gear Solid 3?
the world was split.
Yeah, because Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 use the same engine, in some cases OBS and Windows kind of recognize them as the same thing. So sometimes there's a bit of a mess up with those.
It does that.
Do you use loading trick?
No, I haven't used loading trick for this because I wouldn't have had time to play through it. The game kind of keeps some of the game's levels in memory. So you can, if you play through the game first and then play through it again, you'll find loading times are reduced on your second playthrough. For the PC version, this doesn't really matter because we don't go by IGT for the PC version. We go by loading remove time. So we live split can detect when the game is loading and pauses the timer whenever the game is loading. We do the same for MGS2. But if you're playing on console, then you do go by IGT because we can't do loading remove time for that. So yeah, this is Metal Gear Solid 3. We loaded a save as well, so we're on New Game Plus. Again, there's only really one major difference with New Game Plus. It saves about 10 seconds right at the end of the run. And that's about it. But we have been transported back in time. It is no longer 2006, I think is when...
Yeah, it is.
It is when Metal Gear Solid 2 is set. Might be a bit later.
2005 for MGS1, 2007 on the tanker, 2009 for the plant.
There we go. We have now been transported back to 1967, I want to say. 1964. This is why I have.
I don't even
this is
know.
why I have Glenn here.
My brain is sometimes a functioning wiki page.
That's why I love Glenn, to be honest.
We are now playing.
And for.
Oh, go on.
Sorry.
We are now playing as Naked Snake, who will later become Big Boss. This is. This is Snake's dad. Solid Snake's father.
I would say like janitor rather than that, but yeah, that's the idea.
Owner.
Yes, Solid Snake is a clone of Big Boss. If you did not know this, there's a massive spoiler for Metal Gear Solid 1, which obviously we have already played through, but we didn't watch any of the cutscenes. But this is the start of Big Boss's story.
And Nick, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We play very easy for a specific reason. Can you tell us about this?
I mean, the main reason, as with all of them, is because very easy is the fastest version of the game. So when you're doing a trilogy run, it's the best one to use. But very easy comes with a special weapon. I haven't equipped it yet. We don't really need it in the start, which is called the Easy Gun. It's unlocked from the start in very easy, and it is a silenced tranquilizer with unlimited ammo. It also gives Snake an automatic 80% camo rating. And as a result, when we get into when we've beaten the prologue, this is the Virtuous mission here is kind of the prologue to the game, and then we go into Operation Snake Eater, which is the main bulk of it. We've got to play a little bit of Trauma Center before we move on. Let's just fix all of these injuries that Snake got because he got thrown off a bridge, which that'll give you a lot of injuries.
I must say something. Those menus are shit.
They're very laggy.
I said it.
Yeah.
I really hate those menus.
It does take a bit of time to get used to moving around them. So now we are on Operation Snake Eater. So this is the main bulk of the game. So Snake has been charged with going back into the territory that he was in, find out if the Russian splinter group here has got access to nuclear weapons, and if so, dismantle it. Whilst also trying to re-rescue the Russian scientist who defected. That was his mission in the Virtuous mission, and that went wrong, so he's got to try and do it again if he can. Spoiler alert, he won't. So we are now getting to use the Easy Gun. You'll see that my camo rating in the top right corner has gone up to 80%, and that remains constant throughout as long as I've got the Easy Gun equipped. It makes this run very, very fast. We don't really have to worry about enemy guards. We don't have to worry about taking alerts, and it is a one-hit KO on any guard. It is what makes very easy very easy. That guy out.
Another thing you should mention is Actually, there is 2 camera for this game, and yeah, thank
Yes. So this is the subsistence camera or the 3D camera, and this is the standard camera. In the game's original Snake Eater release on PlayStation 2, you only had access to this classic overhead camera. It wasn't until the re-release Subsistence where they added the 3D over-the-shoulder camera. For speedrunning, generally we prefer the over-the-top camera because it's one less thing to have to control. You don't have to manage where that camera is. You're always in the correct position to move around.
And on PS2, the game tends to lag a bit more
Oh, yes.
using the third-person camera, which is actually true for Snake Eater 3D, I believe.
So here, this is the first boss. This is the Ocelot unit. The Ocelot unit kind of have a bit of a hive mind. That was very, very sort of quick blink and you'll miss it moment there. They kind of have a bit of a hive mind. You may have noticed that the second guard that I went to shoot, I missed him and shot the wall. That was deliberate. By shooting the wall there, it distracted him. He heard the gunshot hit the wall and he got distracted by it. As a result, every other Ocelot unit guard was distracted by it, and that's why they were all stood around ready for me to throw that stun grenade at them.
I must say I wasn't expecting that strat because, yeah.
There is a newer strat where you throw a stun grenade up in the air, but it's been a while. I did learn that strat, but it's been a while since I've done it. And that strat is a bit more marathon safety, a bit more marathon safe.
One other thing we should mention is when Snake is swimming, you are pushing both square and X to make Snake swim faster.
I'm getting hit by that, aren't I?
Well,
Yep.
Yep, definitely.
Let's move into Bolshoi Pass South. Reasonably straightforward. There are some mines on the floor. Do need to be careful of them. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. There was one of them.
Yeah, your line wasn't that great.
No. This one, like Metal Gear Solid 1, 3 is another one where I'm much more used to playing on European Extreme.
Yeah.
Than this one. But MGS2 is the only one where I haven't learnt European Extreme yet. I hope to change that in 2025. And maybe I'll be back to really, really longathon and do all 3 games on the hardest difficulty instead.
I hope so. One thing you should mention as well is we don't care for alerts unless it stopped the game from moving on, basically. So there is a few room where when you get an alert, the game doesn't let you continue. So we will avoid having alerts, but we don't care, basically.
All right, next boss. This is the Ocelot boss fight. So we're going to hit him with the easy gun, throw a grenade at him, hit him again with the easy gun, throw another grenade at him. That grenade, and now we're going to do some headshots on him. One headshot. That one wasn't a headshot. It's fine. He'll move out. Ocelot, stand still. One shot. There we go. He's been a bit of a pain there. Right, don't adjust the stream. It is very, very dark in this room. Luckily, we're not in it for very long.
The real plane is coming now.
Yeah, the bosses kind of come quite quickly, and they tend to come in pairs. So we've had Ocelot, and then in a couple of rooms' time, we're going to have the Pain. Then there's quite a break, and then we'll have the Fear and the End, and then there's another break, and then we'll have some more bosses.
I guess it is time to kind of explain what you're doing. You did it already quite a bunch, but there is a trick to reload the easy gun, and any gun really. By spamming R2, you reload the weapon you correctly holding, basically. And that's what allowed us to do the pain faster, basically.
Yeah, so when we fight the pain in just a second, I'm going to be just mashing. Not going to aim for headshots. We're just going to body shot him, and we're just going to hit him over and over and over again. So here we go. One pain fight coming up. So we swap to the easy gun, and say just blast, 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 blasts. Throw a stun grenade at him. So back to the easy gun. Blast, 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 blast. And that is phase 1. Phase 2 is much the same, but he's taken his mask off now, and he now has bullet bees, which he fires out of his mouth. Again. There we go. And that's the pain.
Nice.
On very easy, it's a really, really nice, clean fight. It gets, as the difficulty ramps up, it gets a lot harder. You have to go for headshots, and the Pain's hitbox is really bad. His headshot hitbox is kind of around his neck. It's very easy to miss shots on him, so it takes a lot of practice to get that fight done well in harder difficulties. The only other difficulty I run for this is European Extreme, so I don't really know what the difference between the with some of the middle difficulties is.
There is another thing we don't like as a runner, and we can thank the Xbox version for that, because sometimes when you quick reload, Snake doesn't hold his gun, and it makes it so Snake doesn't shoot sometimes. So thank the Xbox version, I guess.
There's a little out of bounds trick there. Doesn't do anything. It's just cool. You can just one point in the game where Snake can go out of bounds. Thanks to the easy gun, we can just swim straight under this. I will run out of oxygen. Snake will take a bit of damage, but it won't be too much. And in the next ring, we are going to start the fight against the End, sort of. The End appears early, and we're going to do some damage to him so that he has less health and stamina in the boss fight with him later. So to do that, I'm going to take that guard out, swap to this gun, and just shoot that barrel. You'll see that's done a bunch of damage to the End. Swim over to here. Nah, that hasn't interrupted them. That's fine. I'm gonna have to just.
Sadly, you're gonna take a shit bath.
Oh.
Yeah, another one.
Should be fine now. There we go. So now we're gonna run through the Ponahave warehouse. Need to re-equip the easy gun. Grab the cardboard box. The super duper powerful cardboard box. MGS3 is without a doubt the best use of the cardboard box in the Metal Gear series.
We'll talk about the box bump later on, which is going to happen like pretty soon.
Right now we're on our way to the Granini Gorky lab. We need to meet up with the head of the lab, which is a scientist called Granin, and he's going to give us some information about not Metal Gear. It's not a Metal Gear in this game. The Metal Gear equivalent is called the Shagohod, and he's also going to give us a key so that we can move further on through the game.
And that's one of the area when you don't really want to trigger an alert, because if you do, the Granin door stay closed and you can enter the door. as long as you are in caution.
I got a little too close to that electric fence when I crouched.
Everyone ate those fences, to be honest. Like, I sure do.
In this lab section, Snake has been given a scientist's costume so that he can get through without being spotted. But because we've got the easy gun and our camo index is so high, we don't need to swap to it. So it's relatively easy to get through. So yeah, from here on out, I can't get an alert. Take that guy out. Rolling into guards immediately takes them out as well. Head down into B1. Roll down the stairs there. Oops.
And one other thing you ate as a MGS runner are corners.
It's very easy for Snake to get caught on a corner. Let's go in, have a quick chat with Granin. So he gives us a key so we can get through a different door in the warehouse. Now head back out again. Gonna shoot that guy. Stay over to the right here. Because of the 80% camo index, that scientist kind of sees us in his peripheral vision. Get caught on the door. Sees us in his provisional vision. He doesn't actually spot us.
I'm surprised you didn't took the anchor shift there.
Take that guy out. I'm going to swap to the 3D camera now. It's a little bit easier to get through this section.
I think you should start explaining what is coming.
That's good. That's a good idea, actually. So the very next boss fight we're going to do is called the Fear. The Fear is a bit of a cheese fight. We're going to be using a glitch in the game where, for some reason, if you stun the Fear with a stun grenade, any physical damage that he takes is converted into stamina damage. So we're going to stun him with a stun. We're going to trick him to moving close to us by using a fake death pill, stun him with a stun grenade, and then just blast him.
I'm guessing you gonna go for the knife trap.
I should do. Yeah, I've still got the knife equipped. So immediately use a fake death pill. This tricks the end into the Fear into thinking that we're dead. He's gonna run. He's gonna start walking towards me in a second. I'm gonna now use the revival pill. Throw a stun grenade directly at the floor. Equip the knife, and now just knife him. There we go. And that's
real stun knife.
So yeah, as you saw, for some reason, whilst he's stunned, all of that lethal damage from the knife got converted into non-lethal damage with the knife.
And now we get to hear Nick sing in about like 1 minute. After this neat trick.
Little trick there, which is nice.
I'm a bit ahead of myself. Yeah. You still need to deal with the end, which is the next boss coming up.
Yep, the end is coming up in a couple of rooms.
And
just be clear, when I say the end, it's a boss called the end. We are not ready on time. We've got a long way to go yet.
To be fair, the end is the run stopper. At least for me, it was for a long time, because it may look like a easy fight, but it really isn't. There's a few ways of doing this fight as well. I'm going to go with the method that I know best, which I know isn't the newer, faster method, but it's still pretty fast. One thing you should mention as well is the very easy category for MGS 3 is really optimized. Oh yeah. So a lot of trick are used which are not really marathon safe, and I think Nick is going to go safe.
Yeah.
For most of the run.
So here, I'm going to run to this spot here. I'm going to throw stun grenades. 3 of them in total. It's going to take most of the end's health away. I'm going to lean in, shoot him in the head. He's going to try and shoot me. I'm going to dodge it. Now. Oh, damn.
Oh,
it's okay.
That's one thing that can go... That can make this fight go
and that's the
bad
end.
quickly. Oh, that nice recovery.
Yeah, that's the important thing there is getting the end done in one go. If you've ever played this game casually, you'll know that fight goes on for ages. If you don't know how that fight works. Oh, I still need to equip the cardboard box as well, actually. And actually, whilst I'm here, I'm also going to cure so that we don't have to keep listening to venom poisoning. There we go. We don't have to listen
Another
to...
thing we should mention is we hate menuing. Having to pick up any item from our inventory is 2 loading screen and the menuing itself. So we avoid doing it as much as we can.
Yeah, anytime to equip something, we want to try and equip as much stuff as possible. So now we head into Gorge Tunnel. This is a really long ladder, but as is kind of tradition with this speedrun, we are going to just sit back and enjoy the ladder climb.
Thank you, chat.
Wonderful. So it usually is tradition to just let that play out and just enjoy that beautiful rendition of Snake Eater.
And we all hope in the remake the theme is going to be the same. I'm sure we all do.
Let's avoid that guard.
And it's time for another box trick. When you equip a box, basically, and like climb a slope without the box, really, Snake tend to slow down, and with the box it doesn't. So we are basically using the box to make Snake not slow down on slope.
Yeah, really powerful in this section. We can also use it to get around these guards nice and easily. Just going to switch back to the big camera.
And I think we are going to be introduced to another box trick which I like to call box bump,
Oh.
but you maybe have another name.
Box bump. What, as in that?
Oh. That's another area in the game we don't want to have an alert, because if we do, Eva is not going to open up the door, so
I shot that
bad.
guy's
That's really
radio.
bad. I call it, so I'm sorry, Nick.
Oh, I got an alert.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I got an alert because I
And-
shot that guy's radio.
You'll see why it's a bit of an issue.
Hopefully, I don't know what's going to happen here. If you the door at the top of this is what Blues is alluding to. The door at the top of this will remain closed if you've got an alert. However, if you've carried an alert over from the previous room and you keep it, for some reason the door's unlocked. It depends when I actually got the alert. Yes, I actually got it in the that's nice. I got it in the previous room. And kept it in this one. It's if you get
lucky.
an alert, if you trigger an alert in that room, then the door is shut. That's the other reason why I unequipped the easy gun, because if you then drop the alert down to evasion, then once again the door then locks. So yeah, I messed up, but I then managed to fix it, which is nice. Always know your backups.
Another neat trick there, the wall you do make you climb the cliff, I would say.
We now come on
And
to...
yeah,
Oh, go on.
yeah. Go on.
I was going to say, we're now coming on to what is highly regarded as the most hated boss in Metal Gear Solid 3. This is the Fury. The Fury has quite a lot of RNG.
And rightfully so, I must say. Rightfully so.
This is where I'm going to get punished for my God Palki in MGS1 again.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna get the best RNG.
Let's find out. So I want to use the Mosing the gun to tranquilize him. Oh, he's dropped down straight away.
You actually didn't get the best one.
No, he shot. If he now... No, he's flying.
Ah, yes, the
Yeah,
boss where runs go to die.
Sadly, that's a thing that is true for all the category of that game.
Quick.
This boss is the only...
No.
like,
Quit the box instead of the...
and then again, there is a really cool fast strat for this boss, which is way faster, but
There we
a lot riskier.
Oh, it's so tight. The other strat for that fight.
Yeah, it's almost... I think the very easy what we call have it, but I'm not sure. But it is insane. That's the kind of strat you don't want to use in a marathon setting anyway.
So we're now in Groznygrad. This is the big base. This is where the magic happens, and our sort of final destination. Well, it's supposed to be our final destination. It's not gonna stay that way.
And I really hope you will go for the double watt strat. Even though I'm pretty sure you don't know what I mean by that.
We're gonna meet up with a familiar face, but not familiar name. Got him.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was hoping not to actually hit Rykov here. It's slightly faster if you don't hit Rykov. But this is Major Rykov. He looks like Raiden, but he's actually no relation. This was Kojima's little joke because he knew a lot of people didn't like Raiden. Yep. And so he put Rykov into MGS3 so that players had an excuse to beat up someone who looked like Raiden.
And he have a nice tattoo.
He does. Yeah, there's a it's a little trickier, but if you can distract Rykov instead, I'm going to put Rykov's uniform on. I don't know why I'm going to weapons. If you distract Rykov instead, you get him to move towards an alert and a alarm panel, and there's a quicker way of grabbing him and doing that bit that way. But oh well.
And here come the only glitch in the game.
This the one more cool use of the cardboard box. It's called the box glide. Whee! So good. We're going to do it a second time.
Yep.
Yeah, by using
Even though this one doesn't save that many times.
Whee! Bump. Yeah, by equipping the box whilst you've got the scope on, it kind of puts the box's hitbox in the wall. The game doesn't know what to do, so it just moves you as fast as possible to try and get away from it. Right, this is the torture section of the run, which I've now muted the audio for because this is not pleasant. Snake has a bag over his head, and first Sokolov is being beaten up, and then Snake is beaten up. I say it's just really, really horrible audio, so we just don't play it on stream. But yeah, everything's kind of gone wrong. Snake's been captured. His disguise got seen through. He's not been able to destroy the Shagahod. We're being tortured. We're going to be put in prison. We're going to have to escape and come back. And we are now, however, getting into sort of Act 3, the final act of the game.
Yeah, the MGS free run is really action packed in the, I would say, 2/3 of the run, and then it goes like in a long break until something happened. I'm not going to say what it is.
The person speaking right now is the game's main antagonist, Colonel Volgin. He is a former Russian general, former Russian colonel, who's kind of gone off on his own sort of splinter group, where he has ambitions of restoring Mother Russia. And he's taking control of the Shagahod so that he can fire a missile into the United States. He's the bad man.
And another thing is, after this run ends, after this game ends, he's not going to come back ever again in the franchise. Not ever. If someone tells you he come back, that's false.
Here, there is a codec frequency to get out of here. Which is 144.75. That unlocks the door. We can just run out. We're taking an alert. By bumping into Johnny there, we stop him from saying a naughty word. I didn't do that deliberately. I didn't realize that if you bump into him, it prevents him from saying his naughty word. That might be useful in a marathon if the marathon doesn't want any bad language. I won't say what the word is, but it begins with a B. I'll let you make up your own mind which one it is. So now we're just trying to escape. We've got no equipment. We've got no camouflage. We don't have the easy gun. We've just got to try and escape as quickly as possible. I'm going to do a little roll here because there's a... Oh, I didn't roll quite quick enough. I got hit by the dog. You're supposed to roll there so you don't get hit by that dog. It was just a little slow on the roll. We're now going to go down into the sewers.
And now I wonder how you're gonna deal with what's coming, but I'm pretty sure I know how you're gonna do it.
Quick chat with Eva. It's telling us where she is. Hop over this ledge. Snake's just going to do a very casual leg break. He'll just run it off. No problem. as we run through the sewers. We are going to come up against the next boss fight, quote unquote. Sort of this similar to how Fortune was a quote unquote boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 2. The Sorrow isn't a boss you can fight. You can't do damage to him. He can do lots of damage to you. But luckily, there's a nice fast way of beating him.
I like to see it as a riddle boss, a riddle kind of boss. It's still a really good fight, but yeah, the speedrun kind of ruined it. Especially the strat I was thinking of, but I'm pretty sure you managed to avoid drowning this time.
So we just go under the water. You'll see that the Sorrow has no health and no stamina because he's already dead. He's a spirit. But all we need to do is just go under the water, drown, and then we can use the revival pill to end the fight. If you want to, you can go all the way down the river until eventually the Sorrow kills you himself, and then use the revival pill. If you do that, you are rewarded with his camo, but you don't have to do it. So that's the Sorrow. We now need to meet up with Eva in the waterfall. Because when we were being after the torture section, we didn't remove a transmitter that got put into Snake. So the Ocelot unit is here. They know exactly where Snake is. If you remove the transmitter, the Ocelot unit isn't here, and it's nice, easy going. On very easy, it's really easy to get past them. It takes more time to take the transmitter out. On most other difficulties, you'll remove the transmitter.
And the last bit of RNG is here.
Cool.
Nope,
Good
he
RNG.
missed you.
Yeah, that guy with the rifle, there's a very good chance he'll shoot you. And if he does shoot you, you get blasted to the ground. So that's nice that I managed to avoid that. Snake met up with Eva, got all of his equipment back. He got a nice, handsome eye patch to cover up his bullet wound. During the torture cutscenes, he accidentally got his eye shot out. So yeah, he now has his iconic eye patch. And that's how Big Boss was born. Sort of.
Yep. And here should be the last menuing we are going to do for the run. So yeah, it's almost the end, I would say.
So yeah, I'm going to just quickly pop into here, get rid of that, get that out. SVD, Mosing Nagant. Actually, I don't. No, I do need the Mosing Nagant. I need that. I need that. I need the C3
Indeed.
and items. I need cardboard box B. So equip the easy gun. Got cardboard box B. Again, we don't have to worry about guards. I've got an 80% camo rating, so they don't care. And just like in Metal Gear Solid 2, where we used the parcel room to quick teleport around the base, we can use cardboard box B here and this truck to get into the science lab where the Shagohod is being housed.
And for once, it's totally intended by the game that you will use that box to teleport you.
So there, the Shagohod is just to my left. There it is. You can sort of see it there a little bit. And in order to destroy it, we need to place C3 on each of these electrical boxes. These are the things that are powering the Shagohod. The engineers here don't recognize Snake if he's in a box. They're kind of confused by it, but they don't raise an alert or anything. So we stay in the box. Over here. Another one here. So the hope is by blowing these up, we stop the Shagohod from being charged, and that takes it out. Last one. Unfortunately, we get foiled. It doesn't quite work. And we got our next boss fight, which is the fight against Volgin. The first fight against Volgin. So I'm going to run up to Volgin. I'm going to throw him to the ground, equip my SVD, and just blast him a couple of times in the head. That's phase 1. For phase 2, I'm just going to dive forwards, wait for him to do his first attack, and then blast him some more. And that's the Volgin fight.
Nice.
Very, very easy fight, that one. Now we go into the bike chase. This is quite the bike chase is quite long. On very easy difficulty, there isn't really a lot to do. You're never really in any danger of getting hurt. You don't need to do too much damage to the Shagahard, but it's a little bit of fun. Just blast away at enemies, take them all out.
One thing we should mention is you can still do damage to the Shagahard. On very easy, it's almost like useless to try to make him take damage because he's so easy that it doesn't require you to do it. But on other difficulties, you can like make him take damage, so the fight will be shorter later on. But here is pretty much useless. So all we are going to do is really kill a bunch of soldiers and yeah, wait until this phase finish. Even though there is a part of this bike chase which requires you to kill guards to make Eva go faster, basically.
Yeah, the next room is the only room where there is a requirement to actually take the guards out.
And there is still one RPG you need to take out. It's not required because it won't kill you, but it can do a lot of damage, so we usually try to kill him before he expires, basically.
There's been lots of different versions of Metal Gear Solid 3. The Master Collection's the first time that we've ever had it natively on PC. We have been allowed to run emulated versions of it in the past, but they haven't always been the best. The Xbox 360 emulator was kind of the first emulator that we were allowed to use. And depending on your PC's performance, it's not always great. But for a very long time, certainly before the Xbox Series S and X came out, which have backwards compatibility with the Xbox 360 version of the HD collection, the best, quote-unquote, best way of speedrunning Metal Gear Solid 3 was by playing the HD collection on PS3. It had a lot of lag. It didn't run at a smooth 60 FPS. And particularly on very easy during the bike section, because we've said you don't really need to do much in this section. This is all kind of optional because you'll get through it anyway. It's only these guards that we have to take out. That's it. We've taken out all the guards that we have to take out now. During the bike section, in order to save frames, you would just look up in the air. And that'd be it. You just look straight up in the air, and you wouldn't. That'd be it. You just do that for the whole section, so that you reduce the lag as much as possible. Because the game was ran by IGT, and the in-game timer continued to tick at normal speed, even whilst the game was lagging and running under 60 FPS.
That's one thing that the Master Collection got right, is this part of the game doesn't like
super smooth.
And yeah, that's really handy for us because it lags a lot, and yeah, it can like really make things slow, and you have to shoot it. Did you get it?
No, it was way back there.
You stink.
So you may have noticed a couple of times during the bike chase, I've shot some little frogs, little frog figures. They're called keratin frogs. and there is a category extension, which I'm the world record holder for, called All Keratons. There's 64 of them all together throughout the game. It's like one on one of those pillars over there. It's a really fun run. I absolutely love the Keratin frog run. I shot that one.
Oh, nice.
You can hear it.
Yeah,
You can
you
hear it
hear it.
croaking. I actually shot it. You normally wouldn't try and shoot it with the easy gun. You'd get a sniper rifle out. That was pretty cool.
And if you are interested in like seeing a Keratin run, I really recommend you to go watch Nickrpgreen. It's really a good speedrun.
I ran.
Like having. Sorry.
I ran all Keratin's European Extreme for Disaster Relief Done Quick, which was the mini online run that GDQ did for hurricane relief in October, I think it was, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that run. Rail bridge. There you go. Actually, we've got a little bit of time. There you go. That's a Keratin frog. That's what they look like. We just got to wait for it. There's only one C3 on the bridge. We have to wait for the Shagahod to be close enough. Whilst in third person like this, Snake has perfect aim, so I can just hold this. And as soon as we know to shoot, I try to keep an eye on Eva's subtitles. And now we have the Shagahod fight. The very first shot of this fight is really important.
Yep. That's the most important shot. If you get it right, you can like loop the boss.
Which I did.
And if you don't, yeah, you did. And if you don't, the fight can drag on quite a lot. So you really want to get that first shot right.
Lovely. Fantastic phase
Got him.
one. One more RPG shot.
Oh,
He's moved just slightly, so he's kind of in front of me. Kind of messed up this second phase a little bit.
the game is
There we
really
go.
finicky when you come to
There we go.
the site of Orgi. Sometimes it doesn't look at you, and for some reason you can still avoid the shot. So yeah, it happens.
So now we go into the final. There's 3 more rooms of the bike chase. Again, we don't really have to do anything in these rooms. There's no necessity to kill guards. It's very unlikely I'll take a death. We just get to mess about and just, you know, shoot and have some fun. The Keratin frog that's in this room, my community lovingly dubbed it Hell Frog. It's not too difficult to get once you've got the hang of it. You just shoot it with an RPG. But it's right at the end of the room. You have very, very little time to take a death and reset the room if you miss it. Because the bike chase section is the one part of the game where you can't repeat them. You know, if you forget to shoot a frog, leave a room, you can just walk back into that room and shoot the frog. You can't redo the bike chase section. You only get one shot. So if you miss a frog in a bike chase section, you need to take a death before you leave the room. And yeah, this one had, when I first started running this the Keratin's category, I lost world records to this frog because I missed it. So my community, as they lovingly called it Hell Frog. And when I got a new computer last year, we decided to call my new computer Hell Frog as well.
So it means you have to shoot it now.
I'm gonna shoot it now.
If you don't,
There he is.
I think you did miss it.
I actually did miss it. I didn't shoot it. You'd usually shoot with an RPG. It's a much easier to shoot with an RPG than a sniper rifle.
And you got to shoot that log.
I missed that one as well. I managed to shoot all around it.
Come on, Nick. Really? The Keratin Master is missing the Keratin. No, actually,
I mean, I'm missing loads of keratins. I've not been going through all them
that's
throughout the
right.
run, but it's a really fun little run. I've already promised my community that when the remake of this game comes out, Snake Eater Delta, which we still don't know when it's coming out, we haven't had a release date for it. But it seems that the keratins have been replaced with geckos, which are little ducks, and they've got like camouflage. They look really cute. So I'm gonna my first stream of that game. I'm gonna get all of the geckos.
yeah. Look out for the remake run is gonna make Keratin.
We have a very, very tiny time save in very easy. Eva tells us to shoot this log, and if you don't shoot the log, you smash through it, and she says you stink. If you do shoot the log, you don't smash through it, and she says good one, I think it is. It is
Nice.
It is
Nice, yeah, indeed.
1/10 of a second faster to get her to say you stink.
But you still stink.
But you
but
still
you use
stink.
that Keratin for.
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
This is the last bike chase room. Once we're done in here, we are done with the bike chase.
I must say the Eva line stuff wasn't a joke. It's real. Because yeah, it's a bit weird and all, but it's actually true.
You'd only really do it in lower difficulties. You absolutely do not want to get hit by that log if you're running European Extreme. It will just kill you. Yeah, I see him, Eva. I see him. They're not doing any damage. Having said
And
that,
I
I
think
am actually a little bit low on stamina.
We all hope that this part in the remake is going to be like shorter, because yeah, it's really, I don't think I can say I enjoyed that part, to be honest. Like it's one of the most boring part of the game, I feel.
It's a very long section where you don't do a lot. Thankfully, it's about to come to an end.
Yep. And it's not exactly true for European Extreme and other difficulty in general. So.
Unfortunately, Eva takes a bit of a tumble. We have a crash, and she takes a large amount of damage. We need to feed her. Feed her some instant noodles so that she doesn't run out of stamina. And we need to cure her. On the radio, you're actually told by your teammates that you should focus on you first, worry about healing Eva later. But you actually only have to heal Eva. We don't touch Snake.
And you have
fine.
plenty of items to heal her, and you both, so the game make a point into like saying you should heal first, but it's not really an issue. Even casual, it's not even an issue. And here is a few tricks to make Eva go faster, rather not having her slowing down. Which is like staying close to her, because if you like go away from her, she tends to don't walk, basically.
Yeah, you don't want her to get too close to you because she'll stop. But get too far away from her and she will wander in really weird pathing. So you have to be quite careful to sort of stay at a decent distance from her. And this is fine. It looks a bit awkward, but you just get through it.
And the very easy gun makes that part like trivial. Like you really don't have to worry about the guardian at all.
that little animation there of them walking off the cliff, that's another example of where if you alt tab out in the Master Collection, you can take control of Snake. You can actually go back along that ledge and sort of see the edge of the map. Just like we did the alt tab trick in Metal Gear Solid 2. It's doable in Metal Gear Solid 3 like that, but there's no speedrun uses for it at all. We are very, very nearly done. This is the last room of sort of normal gameplay. There's another frog. Call that one the Freak, because we've got to wait for Eva, so it doesn't take any time out of a run to shoot it. Love the Freak. Right, she's definitely following us. We can move a bit further ahead, just take out some guards up ahead. There is that guy there. There is that guy there. There's one guy in the grass. And I got him. That's fine. You know, the guy in the grass, you can just walk around. He's so fixated on where he's looking and aiming at. You can walk right past him and he won't see you. But sometimes it is safer to just shoot him. So yeah, we're going to get to the end of this room, and then we are going to do the final boss. There'll be a bit of an unskippable cutscene where Snake sort of says goodbye to the boss. She was his mentor after all. And then we have a final little play with Ocelot in the Wig, which is a type of aircraft. I can't remember what Wig stands for something, and I can't remember what Wig stands for.
I can't remember actually.
But this is the fight against the boss.
See what you're made of.
We're going to try and keep the boss in a loop. So I'm going to shoot her with the easy gun. Then throw her to the ground.
Excellent, Jack.
Throw a stun grenade up in the air. Easy gun out again. Wait, there's a little bit of iframes.
Yep.
Oh, missed that second shot. Just wait for it to reset. That's fine. And get around the back. There we go. Knock it to the ground again. One more stun grenade up in the air. And that's the fight. And we play this on New Game Plus because we did stamina damage to her. It's faster to do stamina damage than it is to do lethal damage. And on a new game, when you defeat her with stamina damage, her camouflage pops out of her as you defeat her, and you get about 10 to 12 seconds to go and pick up the camouflage before the game ends. So that is the time save you get from New Game Plus. We don't get the camouflage because we've already got it. It's already in our inventory. So we have this little unskippable cutscene that plays out. We're the ones to pull the trigger on the boss. And as I said, there's going to be a little sequence in the Wig with Ocelot. And time will be when I fire a shot from my gun missing Ocelot. I'll be sort of aiming slightly to the side of him because that's the fastest way of getting through that section.
Yeah, we basically want to have the loaded gun, because Ocelot is slow to fire, so we want to fire it ourselves, which is the end of the run. Not really, but yeah, in a marathon setting, I guess it's the end of the run.
Yeah, normally you would sit through the credits and see the final score screen, but we don't do that in a marathon. So time will be in 3, 2, 1, time.
GG.
Hey.
There we
GG's.
go. That's it. That is Metal Gear Solid 3, and that is the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection trilogy. I'm just going to mute the audio here because I'll move through to the credits, but I don't want really long fun to get hit with a copyright flag, because this song is all Metal Gear songs are notorious for getting hit by copyright flags, so we do
Sadly,
mute the audio.
And all the game are like flagged by at least YouTube, I think, but I think Twitch does not like the MGS5 ending.
Yeah.
As well, the MGS4, I meant to say.
But yeah, that has been the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Trilogy speedrun. I hope that you've enjoyed it. As I said at the start, it's a really nice way of seeing how the series progress, particularly looking at the difference between Metal Gear Solid 1 and the other two. It's quite incredible, the jump that there was there. If you've enjoyed this and it's something you'd be interested in, whether you're interested in wanting any of these games, then make sure you check out Metal Gear Speedrunners. You can find links to the website by going to any Metal Gear game on speedrun.com. They've got a Discord server with loads of people there ready to help new people get into the games. Yeah, it's a wonderful series. The Master Collection has made it so much easier and more accessible to get into this series. So I'd highly recommend it. I'll let you two do your closings before I see us off.
Go on, Glenn. If you're still there.
I'm around. I think Nick pretty much covered everything. Everything can be done pretty much on PC these days, except for 4. But we're hoping.
Master Collection Volume 2 will be
I
out
hope
at
it would
some
change
point.
in the future. As well as Peace Walker, indeed.
Peace Walker would be fun as well.
Blues?
I would like to thank Nick for having me first, and for a lot of things actually, because Nick is a big reason why I run this game myself. So thank you to you, Nick, and as well as Glenn, which I think I can call a friend. So both of them. So thank you both, and yeah, if you are willing to try running this game for yourself, I definitely recommend you to go and say hi on MGS or Discord. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that can get you started, and no matter what level you think you are, there is a run for you. And thank you, chat, and the marathon as well for having us.
Yeah, a huge thank you to Really Long. This has been my first appearance at Really Longathon. I've really enjoyed it. It's an amazing marathon that these guys put on. The fact that it's throughout the whole of December and it just doesn't stop is incredible. So huge props to the work that has gone into making this marathon a thing. If you've enjoyed watching me run, you want to see more of me, you can find me twitch.tv/Nickrpgreen, or just search for Nickrpgreen anywhere, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, you name it, it's just Nickrpgreen everywhere. As I mentioned during the Metal Gear Solid 2 section, I am running all 5 games in the Master Collection this Saturday, and raising money for a charity myself. So if that's something that interests you, come and check that out. But that is going to be it for us, and it for the Metal Gear Solid trilogy. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and have a great festive season, everybody.
Yeah.
Indeed. Merry Christmas.